secondary of Talon Preston, number 2, Demetrius Strickland, number 12 on the left corner, Cade Searles, the safety, and the other defensive backs, Braden Bleakney, number 34, and number 27, Blake Linkus. And on a first down and 10, with the Muskies at the 31-yard line here to start, Nathan Walker, number 10, is the motion man. They give it off. This is Ryder Rock, and hello, Dirk Lincecum greets him hard at the line of scrimmage and drives him backward with a big hit.
3 down linemen for Philo, and that meant that the linebackers are going to be freed up. It's a single high safety, so they're playing run. Great call defensively by the Philo coaches on that one.
Well, that's a fine way to start the game if you're Philo's defense.
Yeah, they go, looks like a 3-5 alignment, press corners with Strickland out there along with Preston and just the one safety.
Again from the pistol, and we were told that Jake Johnson was going to start. It's actually Noah Wendland, number 5 back there with the start tonight. The junior gets the carry, and on the quarterback keeper left side, short gain, only about 2 yards before he was bottled up by defensive tackle Ashton Schultz.
First passing situation tonight for John Glenn, and Philo, not a great rushing team in terms of volume. However, they will pick their spots, and this, I think, is a good opportunity. Again, with the single high safety, they've got that extra guy at the linebacker position to rush the passer out of the pistol formation for John Glenn.
Gates Thompson, Nathan Walker, the right side receivers, and Kobe Shade out to the left side. Wendland on a roll out to the right, throws over the middle, and it's way high for Gates Thompson. No chance there. And in coverage for the Electrics, Braden Bernard, sophomore, was there. But that ball, again, that's been a problem for Wendland here this season. It's just been inaccuracy. Typically, he's been better on the run.
And actually, he had a man open because it was busted coverage by Philo. The corner went with the deep route, and the curl guy for John Glenn was actually open.
Yep. So 3 and out here for John Glenn to start the contest. Nathan Walker will drop back in punt formation, standing at his 23. High snap back to him under a little bit of pressure, and knuckleballs one off, and it's caught at the 30-yard line, and a nice open field tackle by John Glenn's Cash Smith, one of those linebackers we'll see, and the return is good for the Electrics, and they will start now outside their 35.
Well, great defensive stand by the Electrics. John Glenn goes 3 and out, so excellent call to defer the football for the Electrics. And now with Preston, I think, comfortably in the quarterback position, Philo hopefully can get a good drive going.
Cade Searles, the wide receiver, out to the far right side. Griffin Wells, a 5'7 senior, to the near side left. And Talon Preston out of the pistol will take the snap. Quarterback runs straight up the gut. Couple of yards, maybe 2, following his offensive line of Philo. Luke Perkins at left tackle, 6'2", 240 senior. Mason Thomas, a 240-pound senior. Junior Hayden Adolph is the center, with on the right side of the line, Slade Glob, number 58, a senior at 249, and Damon Myers, number 70 at 275, junior.
That was a what you got call, because what you want to see defensively from John Glenn, you don't know. So you have the quarterback just do a quick run and seeing what the formation is.
Talon Preston, sophomore, winds up, throws a quick hitch, and it's caught there by Case Fink. The tight end makes the grab in traffic and gets to midfield at the 50-yard line, a pickup of 11 for Case Fink, and the first bullet throw by the sophomore QB, 5'11" Talon Preston, is a good one.
A nice job by Philo. They are quickly in John Glenn territory, and that first down, by the way, brought to you by one of our great sponsors,
WB Green Insurance. And thanks again to TK Auto Service, our pregame sponsor for tonight's game here on NASH Icon FM. 9:20 and counting down first quarter. John Glenn strikes out on their first possession, 3 and out. Cade Searles comes in motion to the right side. The handoff goes to Lincecum, and nowhere to go as the maroon and white have that bottled up at the line of scrimmage at the JG 49. And Durr Wachter was down there along with Blandon Baker, the big 280-pound senior nose guard for John Glenn. The rest of the Muskie defense, Gunnar Fox, the defensive end on the right side, 250-pound senior. Durr Wachter, as we mentioned, a senior on the left side. Linebackers, Cameron Barnhouse, number 3. Connor Sensabaugh, number 45. Cash Smith, number 4. And number 10, Nathan Walker, The corners will be Jake Johnson, number 15, and Noah Wendland, number 5. Lane Hall, the safety, number 11, and getting through the line, a big run. And that is Zach Savage, wearing that number 6, has a first down carry, a WB Green Insurance first down, a gain of 15 to the 34-yard line of John Glenn.
Well, what was really good about that is John Glenn formation had the single safety. They had the linebackers in a forward defensive look along with the front, and just a great read by Savage of finding that crease between the tackle and the end for John Glenn, and just scored it through for a nice gain, 15.
Two receivers to the near side left. Searles in the slot with Griffin Wells. And Preston looking that way, throwing on the quick slant. Nice read by Noah Wendland, knocking that one down with a nice pass break up on Griffin Wells as he timed that one perfectly and knocked it away from behind and complete 2nd and 10.
Well, that time Philo trying to exploit John Glenn's corners, but really an outstanding job by the corner for John Glenn. That's Wendland?
Yes.
Yeah, great coverage, press coverage that time. No room to operate. Even if he would have caught it, very, very small gain.
Preston again from the pistol with a couple of running backs. Lincecum following the blocking back around the right end. Cash Smith and Jake Johnson are the first to greet him for John Glenn. A gain of 3, it looks like, just short of the 30-yard line. Close to 4 yards on that carry, and that was not a lot there, and that was a pretty good job by Lincecum there just to use his power to create a yard or two.
Interesting for Philo here in this first quarter, 7:40 and moving on a scoreless game, by the way, is that they've tried to go a lot to their right side, so I think they've seen something defensively against John Glenn and some of their strengths on the right.
Philo goes to 4 wides. With Lincecum in the backfield with Preston, looking to throw on 3rd and 6. Good protection, a little quick screen out to the right flat, and that's caught by Lincecum. Runs past one man and has a WB Green Insurance first down, a gain of 7 up to the 23-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. Cash Smith was out there along with Ryder Rock.
Well, that time John Glenn had the linebacker responsible for the back coming out of the backfield, and Lincecum did a great job of juking him after the catch and picking up the first down.
That was Lane Hall out there, also with the tackle for John Glenn, number 11, one of the safeties who's now playing at the corner spot. 4 wides again for Philo on 1st and 10. 7 minutes to play first quarter in a scoreless game. Preston off the left tackle with the quarterback keep will pick up a yard or 2 around the 21-yard line as he gets the ball back toward the middle of the field.
That's Preston's 2nd carry of this first quarter for a net of 5 yards. The big guy so far is the great Zach Savage run that set them up in really excellent field position for Philo at the 21-yard line.
Savage re-enters the lineup right now. Number 6 is Case Fink. We'll head to the sideline for the moment on this play. 6.5 minutes yet to go. So Philo is stringing together some first downs, 3 of them here on this drive so far, and right now are looking pretty good. Nice little balance of run and short pass here. Preston again from the pistol with Lincecum on his right side. Searles in motion to the right. And Preston on an option run gives it to Lincecum around the left end. Runs past one tackler, Ryder Rock had him at the 20-yard line and ran past him there, ran through that tackle and has another WB Green Insurance first down near the 12-yard line of John Glenn after a gain of close to 10.
That was all about Zach Savage. They put him at the wingback spot on the left side. He took out the end and the linebacker for Philo, and that cleared the way for Lincecum.
Nice to run in some open field space once in a while, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Lincecum owes him a lunch this week in the cafeteria after that block.
1st and 10 now from just outside the 11. Philo can still get a first down yet. Griffin Wells and Cade Searles, the receivers to the short side left of the formation, and now a timeout is going to be taken by Dirk Lincecum and the Electrics offense as they did not like what they were seeing as the play clock running down. So we have our first time out of the game. 5:44 left here in the first quarter, Howard, and no score.
Well, but Philo on the move for the Electrics, but one of the things they had formation-wise that time before the timeout was they put Zach Savage back in the backfield. So my guess here early on first quarter is they're going to use Savage all over the field and key him to be the blocker. He's going to get some carries as we saw earlier, but he's going to be the guy blocking for Lincecum and the rest of the guys that are going to be toting it for the Electrics.
So we'll see what John Glenn's defense, if what they adjust here right now to counter that.
Yeah, see, now I think Savage is going to be the wingback on the right side of the formation. Last time he was on the left for the big Lincecum run. Yep, he's going to be on the right, so watch this.
And he is coupled with the tight end, Drew Wright, number 44 at the tight end. This is a jet sweep for Cade Searles, trying to get to the outside. He's got some space to the 5, takes the corner, got it. Touchdown Electrics. 11-yard TD run for Cade Searles on the jet sweep to the right side as he just outran the right side, the strong side of the Muskie defense. And again, like you said, Drew Wright and Savage really sealed it off out there, and Searles turned on the Jets to get it done.
Well, one of the things that John Glenn, I'm sure the guys, the coaches up in the box are taking a look at is, okay, the guy we're going to have to key on when they're on offense is Zach Savage. Wherever he's lined up, that's the direction the ball's going to go. So that's my guess, just looking at formation.
So the Electrics now look like they're going to go for 2. Once again, they lost their young freshman kicker early on in the season in a non-football injury. This will be a handoff to Linkus, and Linkus is bottled up, and there is nowhere to go. John Glenn blew that up quickly, and that will be a failed 2-point conversion attempt. So the score remains Philo 6, John Glenn 0. 5:37 to go first quarter as we will take a 30-second break on NASH Icon FM and YRPtv, and we'll return in just a moment.
ABC Sports presents high school football. This game was brought to you by Doan Ford, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, WB Green, West 40 Auto Sales, Southeastern Med, Abel's, Valentine Insurance, Wayne's Garage Door, Papa John's Pizza, Galaxy's Pizza, 209 Tire, and Guernsey County Children's Services.
For week number 9 here, you can't really argue with it.
Hey, let's knock on wood. It has not rained one single night. It is not going to rain tonight, so not one single game has been affected by the weather to this point. That's great for week 9.
Yes, it is. 6-0 Philo score, 5:37 left first quarter. John Glenn stalled on 3 and out on their first possession with Noah Winland at the QB. We thought we would see Jake Johnson start tonight. That's what we were told, but we'll see both quarterbacks at some point in this session. Kickoff by Austin Tysinger. A short one. It'll be taken by John Glenn, and Wise again to the... That's actually Cameron Barnhouse, number 3, not 2. Just over the left side toward the John Glenn end of the field, around the 33. They'll mark him down after a short return of about 14 yards.
Yeah, that's Brian Hall on the coverage. I think one of the guys on the kickoff team for Philo. That's a great tackle. Great special teams.
Yep, kickoffs tonight sponsored by Valentine Insurance on Southgate Parkway in Cambridge. So John Glenn now with a 6-0 deficit. Thompson, the wide out, all the way to the wide side right by himself. Walker to the left side on the short side of the field. A couple of running backs. They're going to play Gilcher and Ryder Rock together tonight. And Rock gets the handoff. And again, Lincecum greets him just a little ways past the line of scrimmage. Forward progress gets Ryder Rock 2 yards up to the 35, and that is it. And that's been sealed off. So the defensive line that Philo right now is doing their job right now, Howard, as the linebackers are really keying in and coming in unblocked.
What's happening is Philo has the 3 down linemen and the 2 stand-up defensive ends. That's 5 guys on your 3 traditional linebackers, the Mike, the Will, the Sam, and then the 2 corners are pressing along the line of scrimmage, and then your single safety. So John Glenn, I think, will have a little bit of difficulty running it against this formation.
Again, same formation here, a couple of receivers, 2 running backs. Jake Johnson at QB throws over the middle. That's Ryder Rock with the catch and scampers around the left side near a first down, about a half-yard short, it looks like. But they may give him some extra forward progress. Nope, chains are moving. Gain of 8 yards on that pass play as Jake Johnson completes his first throw.
And that time, a little comeback for the Muskies. Ryder Rock, almost a screen type look, right. And they were able to get the extra yards after a missed tackle.
Nathan Walker is all by himself against Demetrius Strickland out here on the wide right side of the field, and they may go to that here somewhat soon. Philo obviously confident with Strickland covering Walker one-on-one, and there's not many MVL corners who can cover him man for man in this season as the carry goes up the middle for a gain of 3 for John Glenn just past the 45-yard line of JG, 2nd and 7.
That's Drew Lincecum coming up from the linebacker spot to assist on that tackle. Defensively for Philo, also a very nice job in the interior.
So Noah Windland back, number 5, taking snaps out of the pistol now. So right now Matt Edwards really mixing it up already on John Glenn's second offensive possession. There's a nice tackle by Mason Thomas, a defensive end 71 on the quarterback. Johnson stopping him at the line of scrimmage. Got him up high as Johnson on a quarterback draw tried to fake, get the defense to shift outside right to the strong side, but it didn't work.
Yeah, nice job. Mason Thomas in there on the tackle that time for the Electrics.
So another long third down situation now for the second time. And this is not a, 3rd and 6, but 3rd and 7 and longer. This has really not been a comfortable down for John Glenn all season.
Well, especially when you've got the 2 running backs and just 1 guy in motion. You really don't have that many guys out in the passer.
Walker going 10. You got 3 guys in the pattern to the left side. Good protection this time. Max protection, it looks like, for Windland. Now comes back to the sideline through it, and Demetrius Strickland had an interception at the 45-yard line as he was looking for Ryder Rock on the sideline, and Demetrius Strickland broke on that ball perfectly, and Windland nearly had himself another interception.
Yeah, John Glenn in a difficult position that time because the formation wasn't really conducive. I don't think they have many formations where they go 4 wide. But when you've only got 1 guy out as a wide receiver, 1 guy in motion, you're keeping 2 backs in, another guy to block. You don't have many options, and the defense obviously very keyed in on that.
Nathan Walker back to punt it for the second time now for John Glenn. Second 3 and out for the Muskies. Under 3 minutes to go first quarter. Still 6-0. Another high snap to Walker. He's able to pull it down easily. Sends a beautiful spiraling punt. A fair catch called for by Griffin Wells around the 12. So another excellent punt. Nice job by Nathan Walker to switch field position again and getting about a 44-yard punt with no return.
Now, Philo, the first time they had the football, very impressive drive as they went down and they scored the touchdown on the ground. But they were able to mix the run and the pass with the Electrics on that first drive. So I would say this is an opportunity to work on maybe a few other things that they haven't really shown much this year.
Well, even already, just not even through 10 minutes of play here, John Glenn's defensive staff's got to be concerned about their defense being out on the field and getting worn down early on in this game. Usually it's something you worry about for the 3rd or the 4th quarter, but this defense has been worked hard this year.
Yeah, not only that, but the confidence level. You need some big plays. You need something good to happen to get the guys fired up, and they need a turnover or a big stop to the Muskies.
2 receivers. Running back is Lincecum again. Gets the handoff around the left side and dumps a Muskie over top at around the 17-yard line. Jake Johnson, the safety, was in on the stop, and Ryder Rock as well.
Dave, when your secondary linebackers, corners, etc., safeties are making tackles, you're really doing something along the offensive line. And to this point of the football game, I think the standouts for me have been the Philo offensive line.
They have established themselves early, and sometimes coaches on senior night are worried about the focus of their players. That's not been the case so far. Cade Searles in motion coming to the left side. Quick handoff again. Lincecum off the right side of the line. Bounces off a Muskie, but they gang tackle him there this time. As let's see who gets off the pile. Cameron Barnhouse was the first guy there to meet him, number 3. Good job of gang tackling by the Muskies to keep that at a very short gain of about 1.
5 carries, 24 yards for Lincecum here in this first quarter. Quick moving first quarters. We're down to 140 and moving, but critical down for both teams. Philo on the 3rd and 3. They want to keep the football. John Glenn, this is where they really need the stop because they don't get the stop here. They're probably going to extend this drive into the second quarter for Philo.
Well, not only that, but it seems like that the defense, just not very often has been able to keep field position down at the deep end of the field. Here's Talon Preston, the quarterback, keeping it himself. He's going to be dumped near the first down. Philo says they have it, and they do. A gain of 3 And the forward progress, forward momentum by the quarterback, Preston, gets him to the 22-yard line and a new set of downs, a WB Green Insurance first down.
A new play that we haven't seen, just as we thought. Maybe it was fake the jet sweep and then just keep the ball yourself with Preston, and he's able to key the linebackers to not look in his direction, look at the motion man, and then he's able to get right up front and get the first down.
Under a minute to go now in this first quarter from Sam Hatfield Stadium in Duncan Falls, and Linscomb will get the handoff again, and this time John Glenn wise to it here as they're able to jump into the, I think he was down first. He was
clearly,
down.
yeah, clearly.
John Glenn trying to force a turnover. Nice tackle. Looked like Ethan Derwachter was in there, the defensive end, number 72, along with Brandon Baker.
Much better job, John Glenn, defensively along that left side. They've been handled a little bit here in this first half, but that was a good job with the end and the tackle working together.
Philo will have to run one more play here, about 6 seconds difference between the play clock and game clock. Philo goes 4 wide receivers now on 2nd and 9. Preston again from the pistol with Linscomb. Good protection with a 3-man rush. Throws out to the right flat. Linscomb makes the grab, and a great open field tackle by Cameron Barnhouse. Pulls him down at the ankle and would not let go. And a short gain for Linscomb. Only a 1-yard pass out of the backfield to the Philo running back, and that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter here at Sam Hatfield Stadium. 6-0 Philo over John Glenn. We'll step away here on YRPtv and on NASH Icon FM as we have our first scoreboard update sponsored by White Pillars Christmas.
Philo's out early here on senior.
ABC Sports presents high school football. This game was brought to you by Doan Ford, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, WB Green, West 40 Auto Sales, Southeastern Med, Abel's, Valentine Insurance, Wayne's Garage Door, Papa John's Pizza, Galaxy's Pizza, 209 Tire, and Guernsey County Children's Services.
Dave Davidson and Howard Twiggs back to Sam Hatfield Stadium here in Duncan Falls. Also our audio and video crew, we'll mention them here in a moment. Talon Preston now on a 3rd and 8 to start the second quarter. Throws too high over the middle, looking for Cade Searles around the 40-yard line of Philo, and that pass airmailed by Preston. Punt time here coming for Philo, you would assume.
Yeah, not really the pass that they wanted. It was thrown into coverage, and it's fortunate that it was actually thrown high. Otherwise, John Glenn was going to pick that off.
Brandon Hickman, our NASH Icon FM studio operator, and our video crew of McKenna Miller, Caleb Abram, Jessica Gross, and Cam Summers on our webcast crew. So Zach Savage back to punt it, standing at his 12, and the man back to receive it, Nathan Walker. And a short, high punt. Walker has to let this one bounce as it takes a nice Philo bounce off the turf and rolls an additional 13 or 14 yards back to the 36-yard line right in the middle of the field at John Glenn's end.
Yeah, 36-yard punt for Savage. That's his first of the night. And that gives John Glenn, however, decent field position. So they tilt the field a little bit, Dave, and now I think it's time for John Glenn to get a big play. I mean, they're due. They've tried some things that haven't worked necessarily, especially from the passing game, where they're 1 of 3 for just 8 yards. So John Glenn maybe going to air it out this drive and see if they can test Philo defensively.
Well, they're going back with Jake Johnson, the sophomore, now as they pull him back into the quarterback position, standing at the 30-yard line, number 15. 2 receivers, Walker and Gates Thompson in the slot to the right side. Kobe Shade to the near side left, and Gilcher will get, I believe, his first carry of the night, and he drags a couple of electric tacklers with him about 5 yards. Nice gain, a first down. Boy, if If you could get that out of this John Glenn offense here every time, they would be very pleased. 9 yards for Gilcher.
Well, what set that up was actually having 3 guys out in the receiving pattern for John Glenn. That spreads the Philo defense out a little bit, and that helps your running game to get up the middle. So I'm thinking by way of what John Glenn wants to do, they're going to keep with the 3 wide receivers. They're going to have to throw the ball, obviously, out of that, but it's going to loosen up that Philo defense.
Gilcher remains the tailback behind Johnson out of the pistol. Gates Thompson comes in motion right to left now. 3 receivers set again. Johnson rolling to his right, looking to throw toward the sideline. Little miscommunication with receiver. Johnson had to get rid of that a little bit earlier than he wanted. Kyler Nader, number 30, the defensive end, providing some pressure.
Yeah, just a roll to the right that time by Johnson. Nader came in from the right defensive end spot and saw green grass in front of him and put a lot of pressure on him. So Jake Johnson, 1 of 2 for the 8-yard completion earlier in the game. Noah Winland, 0 of 2 for the John Glenn Muskies. And now they face a 3rd and short, but that's a good situation. That was a good time to pass the football.
Yep, it was, and now the downside is that Philo knows what's coming next.
Well, yeah, but you tell your big boys up front, hey, let's block.
3rd and 1 play. And Larrick is in motion. An extra tight end blocking back is there. Big hole for Gilcher off the left side. Stumbles his way into the secondary and dives past the 45 of Philo for a big first down carry and a gain of 9.
I think that John Glenn has found something in the Philo defense, and I think that's by putting them in a position where they've got the wideouts taking up the Philo defense, spreading them out a little bit. I think that has helped John Glenn's running game.
WB Green Insurance first down, the first one of the night for John Glenn so far through almost just a little over 13 and a half minutes.
Yep, they're in Philo territory.
6-0 advantage for the home squad. The Philo Electrics in the blue. Gilcher again, handoff straight up the gut. And again, Gunnar Fox and company create a hole and get nice yardage on first down. A 4-yard pickup for Gilcher.
Gilcher's very impressive. Runs straight ahead, puts his head down. Doesn't look like he's a guy that's going to come down very easily.
Braden Bernard with the tackle for Philo. Under 10 minutes to go here in this first half of play. It's been a pretty swift first half so far. Both teams have primarily run the ball, not a lot of stoppages.
And no, you know what? Can't say the word. Begins with a P.
That's right. Larrick, number 81, big tight end, is on the right side of the line for John Glenn with 3 wide receivers. Johnson rolling out to his right, looking to throw over the middle. Nice grab by Nathan Walker. Had it, lost it, and got it back as he dives backward at the Philo 33-yard line to cover up his own fumble. Boy, that was a fortuitous bounce for the senior receiver, who still winds up with a WB Green Insurance first down.
Yeah, he went on the seam route and then came back to the ball on a little curl, and very, very good throw that time by John Glenn, and a nice route by Walker.
So they wind up picking up, about 7 on the throw, officially, I guess, 7 on the pass play, although it would have gone for a little bit more. Walker, boy, he did well to stop his route and actually turn around backwards, snag that one out of the air because there was an electric bearing down on it. 1st and 10 play now for JG, second first down of the night. And Johnson again looking to throw on first down over the middle. He's got Walker again. That's caught inside the 20 and down at the 16-yard line as he's brought down by Cade Searles and company. And another nice pass play, good for 16 yards for Nathan Walker. John Glenn's favorite target now with his 49th catch of the year.
And, right in the middle of the Philo defense, so the Electrics are going to have to, when they come back on the sideline, once their offense gets the ball back, they're going to have to try and come up with a few answers because John Glenn exploiting the middle of the field, both with the run and the pass because of the 3 wide receiver formation.
WB Green Insurance first down and 10 for the Muskies. Flag comes in from behind, and that's never good when the referee throws it from the backside. A short gain for Gilcher, but it's going to come back. A holding call now against John Glenn.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because John Glenn has been on the move, and then to be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So it's going to be basically 1st and 20 for the Muskies. Still in good shape, though.
High school football, these holding penalties, they mark off at the spot of the foul. Not from the line of scrimmage necessarily, although this one was near the line of scrimmage. Looks like about 1st and 19.
Okay, we'll go 19. We won't argue, Dave. 19, 20, a lot.
It's a lot more. And these penalties like this, Howard, are drive killers usually.
Yeah.
Although the good news is this is happening deep in Philo territory, not behind midfield somewhere.
Yeah, it's probably 4-down territory as well.
No doubt. 3 wide receivers again. Walker out by himself to the right side. Johnson has some good protection, sets up a middle screen for Gilcher. He's got some space, takes a hit at the 18, bounces off of that to the 15-yard line, and wrapped up by Ty Moorhead, number 40, the Philo linebacker. Nice gain on first down and long.
That is a seriously good play call by somebody for John Glenn. You had the 3-man rush for Philo, nobody in the area behind the 3-man rush, and that screen was wide open, and just a great call and a great run.
10-yard pass play to Logan Gilcher sets up a 2nd and 9. 7.5 minutes to play. First half from Sam Hatfield Stadium in Duncan Falls. 6-0. Electrics lead it, but John Glenn knocking at the door now inside the Philo Electric blue zone, we'll call it. And Winland now the quarterback taking the snap on a quarterback run. Kind of curls his way right and then back to the left side toward the middle and picks up only a yard. And that'll bring up a 3rd and a long 7 to go with the ball resting at the 15-yard line between the hashes.
John Glenn, I think that time had to run the football just to make sure that Philo honored the run, and now I think they'll come back to what has been working for them, which is to spread the Electric defense out. But a big 3rd down and 9 for John Glenn, and really when you're looking at it now, you're looking at 2 plays for the Muskies.
And Winland remains in at quarterback now on his 3rd and long, around 8 yards. Gilcher, Ryder Rock rather, to the right, Gilcher to the left, and they'll run it on the sweep. Ryder Rock's got some space, lowers his shoulder and barrels into Cade Searles, the tackler, at the 10-yard line. Rock picks up 5 yards on the left-end sweep. Had some good blocking out front to provide him some space. 4th down and about 3.5 or 4.
Yeah. They're no doubt going to go for it, possibly even a timeout coming by John Glenn just to make sure that they really know what it is that they want to do.
Well, it's an interesting dynamic now for John Glenn's offense here, because with Wendell in the game, the defense, you would think, is probably thinking it's probably more run than pass, perhaps. And if Jake Johnson is in, perhaps, a bit more of a pass threat right now.
Well, and again, you come back to how they look when Johnson's on the field at quarterback. They have 3 wide. When Winland's at the quarterback spot, they button it up and go 2 wide. There's the timeout. They button it up, and you pretty much figure they're going to run the ball.
So as Howard Twiggs predicted, John Glenn's Matt Edwards runs the play clock down to 2, takes the timeout with 5:47 to go second quarter. Philo 6, John Glenn nothing. We'll keep it here on YRPtv and on NASH Icon FM with a 4th and 4 coming up for the Muskies.
And if this were a higher level of football, collegiate, Division I, even any division, or even the pros, you might think on pass on 4th down and short, 4 yards to go. Really at this level, I'm not sure that the expertise of the players is good enough to execute. You probably have to do what you do best, which is really try to power the ball in for the 4 yards. But I'll tell you what, though, we'll find out when we know who's at quarterback coming out of the timeout.
Winland remains.
That's probably going to be on.
Well, you would think so. Winland, junior at 6'1", 180 pounds. Jake Johnson, number 15, just a sophomore at 5'10", and 125 pounds listed there. So a smaller back. Winland more of a power quarterback, and we'll see what they do with Gilcher to the left and Ryder Rock to the right side, and just 2 receivers. Walker's all by himself out to the right side. Winland looking left, throws as he got hit as he threw it, and again that throw was high. Winland really took a hard shot. I think that was Kyler Nader again that came in and hit him as he threw it.
Yeah, that time John Glenn crosses up Philo a little bit by having the running formation with the 2 wide package and throwing the ball out of the shotgun. Philo, great job defensively, and they take over. That's their reward.
So 5:45 to play, second quarter, 6-0 Philo, and they will get the ball back now for their 3rd possession of the evening. Our scoreboard updates tonight coming to you by White Pillars Christmas House, our sponsors tonight for ABC Sports High School Football Week 9 broadcast. WB Green Insurance, West 40 Auto Sales, Southeastern Med, Abel's Electric, Heating and Cooling, Valentine Insurance, and AMG Vanadium. And Preston on the end around, it's at Searles, I think it is, number 10, with the Jet sweep toward the left side. Gets back to the 10, just back to the line of scrimmage. Good job in staying home on defense by John Glenn.
That play, John Glenn was right there. They saw the motion man coming over and guessing right that time by thinking that, okay, they're going to run that jet sweep again. That's the second time Searles has run it. First time was a nice 11-yard gain. This time back to the line of scrimmage on it.
2nd and 10 play, approaching 5 minutes to go first half. Philo up a touchdown, 6-0. Lincecum, the tailback behind. Talon Preston gets the handoff straight up the middle between the center and left guard. And John Glenn's defense, a massive humanity right there around the 12-yard line. Just a 2-yard pickup. And that is all, as Blandon Baker, the big 280-pound nose guard, was the one to takes up a lot of space in there.
Well, what Philo's doing basically is saying, okay, we're not going to try and throw it either. We're not going to try and air this out. We're going to err on the side of caution. That is, try to run, try to get that first down, and then if we can't, punt it away. So a 3rd down and long now in this situation. So 3rd and 9 to be exact. They will have the 3 wide receivers, so they may end up passing.
Alex Altier is in there, a freshman at nose tackle, as they go with a quicker defensive lineup. Preston under some pressure, gets away from a couple of Muskies. Derwachter had him from behind, and finally he's piled up by a host of white jerseys just past the line of scrimmage. A 1-yard pickup for Preston. Boy, he did well just to get positive yards.
Yeah, that will make the coaches think twice about going for it again deep in your own territory on 3rd and 9s. But Preston did a great job of recognizing he just didn't have the numbers out against the John Glenn defense and picked up really a good 3 yards.
This is a good job by the John Glenn defense here just to switch field position. Walker, hopefully he's wanting to get a chance at a return right here. A short, low kick. No chance here. The ball bouncing at the 37 and nearly bounced backward. And it'll be down by Philo's Talon Bailey. And John Glenn has superior field position here of the night after only about a 24-yard punt.
Yeah, interesting that when you look at the scoreboard, it's 6-0 Philo. But when you look at the game, what both teams have done, you almost think, wow, Philo has really kind of had their way. But give the Muskies credit. They have just hung around, have made some adjustments both on offense and defense, and they have really played a very good game.
Johnson, now the sophomore, Jake Johnson, number 15, will come in at quarterback for John Glenn as Matt Edwards continues to. He's used both of these guys, Winland and Johnson, switched them even during the same series at times. 3:37, still lots of time and 2 timeouts for JG, down 6-0. Johnson under some heat, gets rid of it in time, finds a little quick flanker screen to Nathan Walker, out to the right flat, zigzags at the 30, down to the 25, and drags another electric tackler for a WB Green Insurance first down, a gain of 15.
Amazing. Philo has had no answer to the guy just coming right over to the middle of the field. It's a great pass rush for Philo, but the linebackers are going out in coverage, and the guys have been wide open for John Glenn.
Yeah, right now, like you said, that back 7 or even back 8 has really respected the speed downfield of Walker and Kobe Shade in particular. And we'll see what they do here as Johnson sets up again from the pistol. Gilcher, the tailback behind him, and now Thompson comes in motion left. Handoff Gilcher, left side run. And a good surge at the last moment. He was hit near the line of scrimmage, and Gilcher and company power their way in that scrum for nearly a gain of 9 inside the 15-yard line to the 13 of Philo.
6 carries, 33 yards for Gilcher, working on a good first half. But what John Glenn has started to really do is, because they've got Philo in situations that they don't like being in, playing the pass formation, they've been able to run the football. Now, this Gilcher is very impressive.
Nathan Walker, the wide out, number 10 to the right side. Dick Gates, Thompson, Kobe Shade to the left. Jake Johnson getting the play in from the sideline. John Glenn's going to have to hurry this one a little bit. Play clock down to 3. Johnson looks, and timeout taken by Matt Edwards as he knew that there was going to be a delay if he did not intervene, and a little bit upset with his young sophomore signal caller. And pulls the team aside here with their second timeout.
Yeah, and this is critical because there's 2:17 left to go in the first half, and that's their second timeout, by the way, for the Muskies. But what I see with John Glenn is they seem to move the football a little bit better when they have Jake Johnson in the lineup. I think he brings that extra dimension to the offense with the ability to pass the football, whereas Noah Woodland, I think, is more of a runner, but not the passer that Johnson is. So I think the combination of the two of them is obviously working for John Glenn, although they've yet to get the scoreboard. But Jake Johnson brings just a little bit more variety. But as we speak now, I think they're going to bring Winland back in to be the quarterback after the timeout.
The 2nd and 1 coming up at the Philo 13-yard line. 2:17 to play in the half. John Glenn looking for perhaps a tying or go-ahead score, trailing 6-0. Gilcher, number 27, the running back to the left side. Walker, a receiver right. Gage Thompson, Kobe Shade, wideouts to the left. Now Walker comes in motion and will join them. Fake handoff on the jet sweep. And Winland, as predicted, Howard with a quarterback sneak right up the right side for a WB Green Insurance first down.
Yeah, I guarantee you when Philo gets to the locker room at halftime, they're going to say, okay, guys, look who they have at quarterback and understand what it is that's in their game plan. Winland's the runner, Johnson's the passer. Even though John Glenn tried to fool him a little bit with the 3 wide receiver look.
Yep. Number 5, Noah Winland with a 5-yard run on that last play. First and goal now for John Glenn at the 8-yard line. And the clock running at 1:50 and counting. First half, John Glenn looking for the tying touchdown here. Gilcher, a couple of yards set up. Now he comes to the right side of the quarterback. 3 wides again for JG. Winland takes a snap, looking to run, follows his blockers to the right side, hits from behind at the 5, and then bounces off of that near the 4, close to the 3-yard line. So a gain of another 5 yards for Noah Winland as that Muskie offensive line now has kind of won the momentum here a little bit on the last couple of series.
Yeah, and Winland has kind of softened them up, and I think Philo's now going to take a timeout because they need to regroup here as John Glenn's seriously threatening.
So we'll take a 30-second timeout here on NASH Icon and YRPtv. 1:25 to go, second quarter. And we'll return after this word.
ABC Sports presents high school football. This game was brought to you by Doan Ford, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, WB Green, West 40 Auto Sales, Southeastern Med, Abel's, Valentine Insurance, Wayne's Garage Door, Papa John's Pizza, Galaxy's Pizza, 209 Tire, and Guernsey County Children's Services.
Field Stadium on a cool but a very rather comfortable mid-October evening for week number 9 of high school football. Howard Twiggs, Dave Davidson, and our audio engineer back at NASH Icon Studio, Brandon Hickman, and our video crew of Caleb Abram, Jessica Gross, McKenna Miller, and Cam Summers.
Okay, so you've got 3 cracks inside the 5-yard line. First time is you go with your power back, you go with your best back, that's Gilcher.
Gilcher is the tailback behind Noah Winland on a 2nd and goal from just outside the 3. Walker comes in motion to join the 2 other receivers to the left side. Gilcher on the handoff and a good open field tackle. That's Zach Savage, and he's been a savage on defense for Philo all season long as he got low and cut off the leg power of Gilcher. And another timeout taken here by the Electrics. They'll burn their second timeout, and no gain for Gilcher on that run.
Okay, so you still have 2 more downs as you're on 3rd down. What else do you have in your bag of tricks if you're John Glenn? You could say, okay, we didn't get anything with Gilcher on the run that time. Let's try it again. You could spread Philo out along the offense with the 4 wide receiver package or even 3, and Winland could keep it. That would be probably my second option. Third option is the jet sweep, probably coming with Rock, or Rock getting the ball. So I'm thinking John Glenn probably will come back with Gilcher as option 1. If they don't do that, most likely Winland on the carry, and then Rock maybe on that jet sweep.
Well, and sometimes here with the ball set up over on the right hash, Howard, you've got a lot of room to the left side of the formation, and sometimes every once in a while you kind of almost outguess yourself. You think, well, the defense is going to look wide side, and we'll try to run it short side, and then there's not much not much happening there. We'll see what Matt Edwards and the Muskies decide to do here.
Three wide receivers for John Glenn.
Shade and Thompson to the left side. Again, Walker to the short side, right of the field. The ball on the right hash at the 3 on 3rd and goal. Windland will run it to the short side. Lots of room to that right side. Finds the seam, dives, and touchdown Muskies. Noah Windland with the 3-yard touchdown run and ties this game up with 1:12 to go in the first half at 6-all.
Yeah, remember that missed 2-point conversion by Philo.
And John Glenn's Evan Rector, the sophomore, will come in to attempt the extra point, and he has been very good at that all season long. He has been very accurate. We'll see if he can convert here and give the Muskies perhaps the lead.
Sophomore here as he waits to snap in the hole.
And gets the hold down. Walker gets that. That was a tough snap to handle, and Walker did well to get that down, and Evan Rector boots it through just inside the left upright, and good. And the Muskies here, Howard, have taken a 7-6 lead now with 1:12 to go here in this first half.
And a lot of credit to the coaches for John Glenn of coming up with some things that, after a rough beginning that weren't working against Philo, coming and trying some new things that the guys are capable of doing. And I think done a most masterful job of rotating the quarterbacks and getting something serviceable out of both of them. That time Windland is the runner. You know, they look at the pass formation. Philo doesn't adjust defensively. They have to play the pass. They're spread a little bit thin, and then Windland goes in. So, bang, number 1 you go with Gilcher, number 2 you go with Windland.
And oftentimes when you're using two quarterbacks like Matt Edwards has used, even in the same series and so on, you think that there's not a lot of continuity with the offense, but that actually has provided, it seems, more continuity with the offense tonight.
They've done a nice job, and what they've really done is they've lessened what they do offensively. What I mean by that is the formations, there haven't been many, just a couple of different looks here and there, but they've only run 2 formations. The 3-wide package, which is traditionally a passing for Johnson, and then they button it up with 1 wide out, possibly 2 sometimes, and then the wing back, and they run the ball with Windland. So, what they're doing is they're just very simple football, easy for the guys to execute, and it's paid dividends. They're now up 7-6.
And the kickoff sponsored by Valentine Insurance. Evan Rector boots it away, and it is taken by the Electrics at around the 30 and carrying a pile of Muskie tacklers with him up to the 44-yard line. Nice run for Seth Henning, I believe.
Yeah, and what this does for Philo is it sets up some opportunities. If the kick were not going to be returned for very much, say, back at the 15, 20, 25-yard line, I think Philo would probably just be content to run the football, run out the clock. But now, up at the 43, they can take a couple shots. They can take a couple shots short, maybe along the sideline, and try to at least get into a scoring position. So this is a good opportunity for the Electrics in Preston.
And out of the pistol, Preston with 3 wide receivers, 4 going out in the pattern, 3-man rush, flushed out of the pocket, rolling right, tripped up, great open field tackle again. Who else? Cameron Barnhouse. He has been a tackling machine for JG this season. Only a 2-yard scramble for Preston as time runs at 50 seconds.
Yeah, quick huddle by Philo, but that's a great job by John Glenn defense to stay home.
3 wides again. Quick throw out to the flat, pass batted down. Gunnar Fox got a hand on that one as the alert senior, one of our Guernsey Muskingum Electric power linemen this year already, and knocks that one down as he able to get up in the air and knock that down to stop the clock at 40 seconds and a 3rd and 8 now, which is a rather precarious down here for Philo too, still at their end of the field at the 46.
And 3 of 6 for 19 yards for Talon Preston in this first half.
Griffin Wells out to the left side with another man in the slot. Searles to the right. They're going to go deep to Searles. And he throws, and a back shoulder throw, and Searles comes up with it inside the Muskie 30 at the 27. That is good coverage down the field by Lane Hall.
That is a great haul that time by the Electrics. Cade Searles, that's his first catch of the night. It's good for 31 yards.
That's a perfectly timed throw between Preston and Cade Searles, number 1 target. Now on first down, throw over the middle. Tight end slot man Case Fink with the catch on the quick slant inside the Muskie 20 down at the 18-yard line. Clock running at 25 seconds. After a 9-yard pass play, Preston now on the snap, throws out to the flat. Cameron Barnhouse, I think maybe got a piece of that ball or at least shielded the view of tight end Drew Wright, who had a chance to grab it for a first down. And they'll have to settle for a 3rd and 1 now, Philo, from the Muskie 18 with 19 seconds.
And they'd like to have all 3 of their timeouts left now. But there's still plenty of time, 19 seconds. I think for Philo, the most important thing they can do right now is get the first down. Get the first down, then take your timeout, and then you got to take some shots into the end zone. But get the first down first.
Preston from the pistol with Lincecum in the backfield. Heavy pressure. Throws out to the flat. That's caught Drew Wright with a one-handed grab over the shoulder. That's good enough for another W.B. Green first down at the 14-yard line of John Glenn as he goes out of bounds to stop the clock, and a gain of 4 on that quick out pass by Preston.
And they get the first down, which is really what they're looking for.
Well, 14 seconds right now. You know that they're not going to run the ball. No. I mean, they got maybe 2 plays, 3 plays here tops, and they've all got to be quick throws. Preston under heavy pressure by Walker, dumps it over to the flat. Lincecum with the intended receiver as Cameron Barnhouse lays a lick on him in the backfield. And Preston and Cameron Barnhouse exchange some pleasantries on that. A little jawing going on after the play. Clock stopped with 10 seconds. A second down play now for Philo coming.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to take the timeout here, Philo. I think they're just going to get up to the line of scrimmage and run the play. So plenty of time on the play clock, down to 17.
1 timeout left here for John Glenn. And the scoreboard showing Philo out of timeouts. Preston off to the right flat. Lincecum. That's one man. He scampers away. Dives for the end zone and scores. With 3 seconds left in the half, Cameron Barnhouse had a chance at the tackle. And the same 2 players that were involved in the previous play, Lincecum wins this one. And a 14-yard touchdown pass from Preston to Drew Lincecum to put Philo back on top 12-7.
Yeah, Lincecum out of the backfield as he has been all night. That's his 3rd catch of the night. And what a good time for that one. Actually, that's his 4th catch.
So the Electrics here again will go for 2. With a 5-point lead, 12-7. Talon Preston now, the quarterback, setting up out of the pistol with Lincecum to his left side. All 3 receivers in trips formation, Fink, Searles, and Wells all to the right side. Handoff Lincecum, hit near the line of scrimmage, struggles toward the goal line and did not get there. And again, the 2-point conversion fails for Philo on the power run by Lincecum. And with just 3 seconds left in this first half, Philo 12, John Glenn 7. We will keep it here. As coming up in our halftime report, sponsored by Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance. Howard Twiggs will have statistics for us here later on in the half. We'll talk with some of our video crew here from the Mideast Career Center as well. We'll have the Ohio News Network Tonight in High School Football feature. And Brandon Hickman back in the studio. And Jeff Luke will give us an update on some of the other games going on in our area. A couple of them that we're tracking here right now, Howard. Right now, Coshocton and West Muskingum tied at 7 in the second quarter. Maysville and Riverview scoreless late in the first as of last report. Cambridge up 20-13 on Marietta. Cambridge, interesting team. They struggled kind of early on, had a big win against Union Local, an undefeated team at that time, even though a smaller school. 35-33 win there, and Cambridge seems to have kind of found a second win this season.
And a possible playoff team right there for the Bobcats.
And right now, New Lexington, no problems with Crooksville as they lead 27-0 at home at Jim Rockwell Stadium. So the kickoff again coming here, sponsored by Valentine Insurance. Austin Teisinger with the kickoff here from the 40. John Glenn's got some people up, maybe expecting a squibber, and that's what they'll get here. Ball takes a high bounce. It'll be fielded by Cameron Barnhouse around the 30, and he'll be tripped up around the 35-yard line. That'll take us to the end of the first half here at Sam Hatfield Stadium in Duncan Falls. Entertaining first half. Second quarter, both teams exchanging some touchdowns, and the Electrics now with a 12-7 lead here. What's your thoughts here on the first half?
I think what I saw was great coaching on both sides. I mean, I know some people think that may be overrated, but what I saw was some really good adjustments by both sides, and a very competitive first game because of the adjustments. First half, I should say.
Our halftime report sponsored by Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance. We'll step aside here for a few moments. Tonight in high school football, our Ohio News Network halftime feature coming up here in a matter of moments. We'll have a scoreboard update as well back in the studio with Jeff Luke, and we will come back here to the field in just a little bit as our halftime report will get underway with the Philo Electrics leading John Glenn 12-7. Go right now back to the studio to Brandon Hickman and Jeff Luke.
ABC Sports presents high school football. This game was brought to you by Doan Ford, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, WB Green, West 40 Auto Sales, Southeastern Med, Abel's, Valentine Insurance, Wayne's Garage Door, Papa John's Pizza, Galaxy's Pizza, 209 Tire, and Guernsey County Children's Services. ABC Sports presents high school football. This game was brought to you by Doan Ford, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, WB Green, West 40 Auto Sales, Southeastern Med, Abel's, Valentine Insurance, Wayne's Garage Door, Papa John's Pizza, Galaxy's Pizza, 209 Tire, and Guernsey County Children's Services.
And we're back here on YRPtv, and we're talking. We've got a whole crew here. We have Jessica Gross, we've got Caleb Abram, Cam Summers, the leader of the Mideast Technology Career Center's digital media program, and we have McKenna Miller here, who has been one of the students here for a while now. So give us a sense of what the program does. How does it work? What's kind of a typical school day for you? What classes have you got there, and what are you learning in the digital media form?
Well, as of classes, for Mideast, you go and you take your academics. So some people who we've given tours to, like they have students at Mideast in different labs, they give tours to like 7th and 8th graders, and a lot of people ask the question of, hey, do I still have to take math and science, or am I just in lab all day? And we're like, yeah, you still have to take math and English and all the high school classes to graduate, but most of your time is spent in lab. I think it's about 2 or 3 hours spent in lab. And it's a great opportunity for students as long as they're willing to learn. The students are really willing to teach, and a lot of them, like a lot of the instructors, have connections. So
now you were also in the College Credit Plus program too, so you're bouncing back and forth between St. State and Mideast digital media program.
Yeah.
Is that a difficult thing to juggle those things all together at the same within the week?
Well, a little bit, but as long as you're really going for what you want to do, like as long as you're passionate about what you want to do, I think it makes it a lot easier. So.
Now, what are the skills that specifically, now, like you're running cameras here tonight, you guys are working behind the scenes here too, directing audio and video and so on too. So what are the specific skills that you've learned through the program?
Well, obviously, some of the basics, learn how to set up a tripod, how to work a camera, we'll plug in audio equipment, learn how all that stuff works. We do have people directing one of our softwares, and then we talk through a mic, tell each other what shots to get. It's just a lot of communication.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, and the people that are watching on YRPtv now and even listen on the FM radio side, I mean, there's so many things going on behind the scenes that people wouldn't believe.
Oh, yeah.
Just to put on a simple high school football game, it's so much more involved here now. So what are the opportunities now that the program will get to you? What do you want to do with this when you're finished with the program? What do you see yourself doing? You know, what's that, maybe a 5-year plan down the road if you're thinking ahead that far?
Well, since joining this program, I realized I'm really interested in video editing, and I know I've had a lot of opportunities with that. We did stuff with Habitat for Humanity. Me and my classmates went with our instructors, Mr. Summers, and we filmed for the Project Playhouse thing. And then we went to the farmer's market, did a little promotional video for that. We do a school's news segment, so we all get a little bit of experience behind the camera and in front of the camera.
Yeah. So. Now, do you see, last question here, but you've done really well at being put on the spot here. So what do you see yourself, where do you want to go? Do you want to stay kind of in the small media market, or you see yourself like, kind of venturing off and deeper pastures, somewhere across the country?
Well, definitely, because digital media is such a broad program, you can do things in journalism and editing and photography, all those kinds of things. Really, for me, I kind of want to go deeper into that stuff, but I think that digital media is a pretty good thing to fall back on for a lot of opportunities and all the networking connections.
And you said video editing is your favorite part of the whole part of it? Are you thinking of animation or computer game design? I mean, a lot of kids are looking at computer game design and that kind of stuff now.
Well, more like promotional stuff, like maybe commercials, or hopefully, if I'm ambitious enough, into TV and film production, maybe news segments, that kind of thing.
Right. All right. Well, thanks for coming aboard. Thanks for talking about the program. This is the digital media program at Mideast Career and Technology Centers. Cam Summers is directing that program. He's here tonight with a couple of your other audio and video pals here too. So thanks for coming on board and talking about it.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll take another break here on NASH Icon FM and on YRPtv. We'll have Howard Twiggs stats when we return here on ABC Sports. Stay with us.
ABC Sports presents high school football. This game was brought to you by Doan Ford, patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, WB Green, West 40 Auto Sales, Southeastern Med, Abel's, Valentine Insurance, Wayne's Garage Door, Papa John's Pizza, Galaxy's Pizza, 209 Tire, and Guernsey County Children's Services.
Welcome back, everyone. It's halftime here on senior night from Sam Hatfield Stadium, where the Philo Electrics lead the John Glenn Muskies by the score of 12-7. Howard Twiggs and Dave Davidson, glad to be a part of your Friday evening broadcast and what we thought was a very entertaining first half, and we certainly look forward to more in the second half. While we have an opportunity, let's take a look at some numbers. Let's first go to the scoring. Philo opened up the game with an 11-yard run in the first quarter at the 5:37 mark. That was Cade Searles. The try for two is no good, so the Electrics led 6-0. And then in the second quarter, with just 1:12 to go in the period, Noah Winland capped off a great John Glenn drive on a 4-yard run. The extra point was good, so the Muskies actually led 7-6, but give Philo a lot of credit with just a couple of minutes to go, actually a minute and 12 to go in the first half. They marched all the way down the field, and with just 3 seconds to go, a 4-yard pass from Talon Preston to Drew Lincecum. The extra point for two was also no good, but that made it 12-7 in favor of Philo, and that is where we stand at this point. So again, just a great drive by the Electrics in just a minute 10 to go. Let's take a look at some numbers. First, from the team standpoint, Philo ran the ball 15 times for 76 yards in the first half. They were led by Drew Lincecum, 6 carries for 26. Talon Preston had 5 carries for 14. Cade Searles, 2 for 12. Case Fink had a carry for 9. And Zach Savage had a carry for 20. Passing from the Electrics, it was 7 of 12 for 77 yards for Preston. 4 of those balls went to Lincecum for 31 yards. Searles caught a big bomb for 31 yards on that last minute drive of the first half. That was a great throw and catch that set it up. Case Fink had a catch for 11, and Drew Wright also had a catch for 4. No turnovers for the Electrics. They punted. Zach Savage did one time for 36 yards, and they were not penalized. For John Glenn, they also ran the ball 15 times. However, they were just 58 yards on the ground. Passing, the combination of the two quarterbacks, Winland and Johnson, ended up 5 of 9 for 55 yards. No picks, no turnovers for John Glenn. They punted the ball twice for 57 yards, were penalized one time for 10 yards. On the ground for the Muskies, they were led by Lincoln Gilcher, 7 carries for 33. Noah Winland, 5 carries for 18. Ryder Rock, a couple of totes for 6. And Jake Johnson ran the ball one time for 1 yard. Through the air, Noah Winland 0 of 3, but Jake Johnson, the other quarterback in this offense, was 5 of 6 for 35 yards for the Muskies. I should say, 55 yards, not 35, 55. Nathan Walker, 3 catches for 36. Ryder Rock had a catch for 8, and Logan Gilcher out of the backfield also caught one for 11. And the Muskies hung in there, Dave. It looked as though Philo in the first quarter was going to have their own way, and then John Glenn changed some things, did some things both offensively and defensive differently, and got right back into this. But again, give Philo credit. They marched right down the field, minute 12 to go in the half after trailing 7-6, and boom, the touchdown.
Well, we got a potential. There was already, a couple of potential plays of the game already happening possibly. Philo, that Cade Searles grab on the timing throw from Preston that went for, I think, just about a little over 30 yards right at the end of the half. Biggest play of the game right now so far, I think, from either team. After John Glenn, started 2-3 and outs to start the game and fell behind, looked lifeless on offense, and then all of a sudden they put, a drive together. They did stall out inside the 10-yard line of Philo on the incomplete pass on 4th down, but then, like you said, the momentum really was all John Glenn in that second quarter, and then all of a sudden, bam, out of the blue, one big play turns it around, and the Muskie defense looked solid to that point.
Yeah, keep in mind, we'll have the drive of the game, the play of the game, and then the power lineman for both teams of the game, as well as the player of the game. So lots of good stuff to give out at the end of this one. But right now, the drive of the game, certainly, Dave, is that end of the quarter drive by the Electrics. They started at their own 47. As I recall, we were talking about field position, that it was such a good place to start that the Electrics were able to do some things, whereas if they'd been pinned way back by way of the kickoff return, they might have thought differently. So the great field position set up the drive, and then with 3 seconds, the Lincecum touchdown on the pass from Preston. That's very impressive.
We also have our Lock 9 Pizza player of the game, and I went there just early this last week.
And you didn't save me any, I know.
Oh, my goodness. The Supreme Pizza.
Are you buying?
That was good.
You buying after the game?
I might. You might talk me into it.
Okay. All right.
That was mighty, mighty good.
All right. Thanks a lot. Now I'm hungry.
Well, just have a sip of your water. It'll be fine.
I can be shut up very easily, Dave. It doesn't take much. Just drink my water and shut up. I'll have fun. Don't worry.
Philo with a 12-7 lead here at halftime. Philo goes on the road to finish their season at Maysville next week. A 4-4 team coming into tonight, the Panthers. John Glenn with a very difficult home closer for the season, and certainly, they're playing what we expect will be an 8-1 Tri-Valley team next week at home. That's been a team that kind of was off to a slow start to start the year, and then really they've been kind of typical Tri-Valley here for the most part here through the week 4 or 5 on.
Yeah, we saw Tri-Valley right here last week against Philo. They're very impressive on both sides of the football. But, come back to the open that we talked about, Dave. This is a big game for Philo because they can sneak into the playoffs. And, it's 16 teams that the, OHSAA has expanded. But don't tell the kids that. If they have a chance to play an extra week, especially the seniors, you can bet by golly they're going to want to do it.
Right now, Philo is sitting in the 18 slot right now behind KIPP Columbus and Eastmore Academy, and I guess points-wise, they're really a distant, they're a solid full point away from the 16th slot, and right now, the Steubenville Big Red right now is really the class of the region right now. Columbus East, St. Clairsville, Indian Valley, the top 4 in this region for Philo.
It possibly could be a good news, bad news. Oh, really? What's the good news? Hey, you're going to the playoffs.
Bad news is you're traveling to the powerhouse.
With that big red horse that shoots fire out on the field.
And they are playing tomorrow afternoon. They are facing Cardinal Mooney, which has been, they have met several times here this century deep into the playoffs. That's another one that proves to be a 1 o'clock contest tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the teachers also referee the games, and the janitors run the clock. The cooks, they run the changes.
Yeah. Well, our kickoff here to start the second half, brought to you by Valentine Insurance on Southgate Parkway in Cambridge. Our thanks to patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance for our halftime sponsor. And a squib kick taken by Philo, and there goes Seth Henning off the bouncer inside the 20-yard line and scampers up the middle of the field near midfield and is finally shut down at the 47-yard line, and a return of close to 35.
Yeah, Kirby Shade in on special teams for John Glenn. This is just about where they started the drive that ended the first half. Right around the same point of the field, 47-yard line.
25 yards on the return by the junior, Seth Henning, number 11. And the Philo Electrics offense goes back to work now on a 1st down and 10. And the handoff again, it'll be Preston himself, quarterback keeper, near a 1st down at the John Glenn 44-yard line, just a half yard short of it. 9 yards for the Philo QB. sophomore at 5'11", 170 pounds. Talon Preston.
Yeah, 6 carries, 23 yards now for Preston. He's also thrown the ball very well tonight. 7 of 12 for 77 yards. So good first down play. They are in John Glenn territory. They have a great play opportunity here on 2nd and 1.
2 wide receivers, Cade Searles, Case Fink out to the left side, Griffin Wells to the right side. And on 2nd and short, hand off to Lincecum again off the left side of the line. Short gain, but enough for WB Green Insurance first down and a gain of 2 before he was cut down by Landon Baker, and it looks like Tanner Whiteman in there on the stop, new defensive end for JG.
Yep, so we're first down and 10 now for the Electrics. New set of downs, and they're going to give it to him? Yep, they're going to give him that first down. So Philo on the move here in the opening minutes of the second half.
First minute gone here in the third quarter. Philo 12, John Glenn 7. And Philo rushes up to the line here with 10 seconds still to go on the play clock. Cade Searles out by himself to the near side on the right with a receiver, and the handoff on the sweep to the left is Lincecum. And they tried to tackle him high. Walker and company missed him around the 39, and Lincecum picks up a nice gain on first down, close to 8.
Yeah, that was a formation we hadn't seen. They flooded the left side of the field, did Philo. They actually had a wing back. It looked like an extra lineman in there. So they ran almost an unbalanced line look. So plenty of opportunity for Lincecum to run behind some guys, and a great play call, a great run.
Almost has the old single wing look to it a little bit from the old days. Griffin Wells, the receiver, to the far side left, and Cade Searles to the right. Preston again, the handoff to Lincecum. Lincecum is going to be dragged down and thrown down by Tanner Whiteman, the defensive end, but not until Lincecum's forward progress gets him another WB Green Insurance first down after a gain of 3.
And 9 carries, 39 yards now for Lincecum. So, Philo here in the early going of the third quarter, 2 plays. Lincecum and Preston. So, what they did at halftime was say, okay, guys, we're going to go right between the numbers here, and we're going to try and just pound and pound and pound.
First down and 10, Philo from the John Glenn 32-yard line, the ball right in the middle of the field. 2 minutes gone here in the third quarter, 12-7 Electrics on a couple of TDs. And Preston under some heavy pressure by Barnhouse. Trips him up and brings him down for the first John Glenn sack of the night. And Barnhouse will get the quarterback down after a loss of 9.
Yeah, difficult situation for Preston to be in. He was rolling to his left, and as a right-handed quarterback, he was going to have to try and square himself up. But, boy, John Glenn came in from the corner blitz and, boom, blowed it to him.
Second down, 19 now coming up for Philo. This has been a rare situation for the Electrics. Only one other time John Glenn had a holding penalty, which made it a 1st and 19 earlier on, but the Electrics have not had this deep a down and distance possession right now. Preston again snaps it with 1, has some protection, rolls out to his right, and that throw way too high for 5'8" receiver Griffin Wells. Preston unloading that one as he was being pursued heavily again by number 3 Cameron Barnhouse.
And actually Preston that time rolling to his right, he had a little bit of opportunity. If he could have bounced it outside, he may have been able to pick up some positive yards, but wanted to go the passing route, but unfortunately the ball was overthrown. So big down for the Electrics now, 3rd and 19. First time, as you'd mentioned, Dave, they were well behind the chains, except for the penalty in the first half.
3rd down, 19 coming as Preston Talon gets the play and brings it in himself. He'll send Case Fink and Griffin Wells as receivers out to the left side, and Searles to the right by himself. 3rd and long throw, scrambles up into the pocket, steps up, is going to be dragged down by the shoulders, and he's thrown down by Cash Smith, number 4, who comes up with the tackle on the quarterback, but Preston does pick up a couple of yards, maybe a yard or 2 to avoid another sack.
And you know what a promising drive it was just a couple of minutes ago, and John Glenn really buttoned up that defensive line, and they've really put it to Philo, and now the Electrics are going to have to punt with Savage.
So Zach Savage out to punt for the second time here in this game. 8:35 and counting third quarter, 12-7 lead for Philo, but John Glenn's going to get the ball back here now on a punt on 4th and 17. Walker was standing back at his 10-yard line. No pressure on the punter here as Walker will let this one go on the line drive kick, and it bounces well into the end zone for a touchback. So only a punt of about 22 yards net And the Muskie offense starts at the 20 here for the first time in this second half, down by 5.
Yeah, so give some credit to John Glenn for tightening things up after Philo had gotten off to a good start in the second half, and we'll be curious to see who they open up with at quarterback. Looks like they're going to go with Winland. So as we saw in the first half, pretty much if Winland was in the game, they were going to run. If Johnson was in the game, they were going to pass, and they're definitely in a run situation because they just have the 2 wideouts and the split backs. So
they've gone with the 2 back set again.
Run coming up.
Rock to the right, Gilcher to the left, and they'll fake the handoff to Gilcher, and Winland will follow around the right tackle as he follows Gilcher's lead block and picks up 3 to the 23-yard line and brought down by defensive lineman Mason Thomas.
Yeah, interesting. That's how they opened up the game with the 2 wide receiver package and the 2 backs with Winland in the shotgun running the football.
Winland remains on the field at QB. Again, the 2 running backs, Ryder Rock and Logan Gilcher, a pair of sophomores. Nathan Walker, number 10, is the wide receiver to the right side. Gates Thompson is the second receiver out to the wide side left. Offensive line of Nick Zanders, Noah Scheffler, Gunnar Fox, Clay Mathers, and Jake Dematillo. On the front line for JG. And the fake handoff again. Winland will keep it himself. Takes a hit at the line of scrimmage. Struggles forward for a yard up to the 24-yard line. Tough sledding for the junior quarterback for John Glenn, as again he had to drag a couple of defensive linemen with him, and Mason Thomas is there again.
7 carries, 22 yards for Winland. They are led tonight by Gilcher, who has 7 carries for 33. And kind of surprised, Dave, that Gilcher hasn't gotten more touches.
Well, and I think John Glenn's longest rush of the night is 9 yards off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Nothing over 10 yards yet. And on a 3rd and 6 play, Winland steps back, now throws, wide open tight end is Larrick. He makes the grab at the 34-yard line, scampers up the sideline for a WB Green Insurance first down for JG, outside the JG 40 to the 42. And that's not a receiver that they look for very often, but big target, Caleb Larrick, 6'6" and 225 pounds, comes up with a nice grab and moves the sticks.
Yeah, kind of hard to miss him as big as he is, but again, as we've seen much of the game, Philo very soft on the guys coming to just in the flat of the quarterback area.
18-yard pass play to the tight end, Larrick. And 3 wide receivers sitting here now for Winland as the lone running back, Gilcher, gets the handoff up the right side of the line, picks up 4, just ahead of the 46-yard line of John Glenn. Bringing up a 2nd down and 6 as we approach already here, Howard, the halfway point of the 3rd quarter. Philo on top 12-7.
Yeah, very clean game to this point, just the 1 penalty, the 1 sack. Both teams running the ball effectively here in the second half. Looks like they're going to put Larrick at the wingback spot again, so they may have something cooked up for him again. Now he's on the left heel going motion.
And goes to the short side right and provides a lead block for Gilcher. Gilcher with the handoff again off the right side of the line, picks up 3 more. And let's see, actually they'll mark him back for a 2-yard gain. They'll mark his forward progress, knee touchdown at the 48-yard line. 3rd down and 4 coming up now for JG.
Yeah, they're going to stay with Winland, it appears. We've not seen Jake Johnson here in this 3rd quarter, but again, the way the game is playing out, just the 2nd possession of the 3rd quarter. So the Muskies will have the 4 wide look, so they've got Philo spread out.
New wide receiver for John Glenn, that's Caden Black to the wide to the left side, number 23, and Winland fakes the handoff on the sweep to Gilcher, and Philo not fooled at all right there as Lincecum and Kyler Nader come up with a tackle on the quarterback, no gain.
Outstanding defense by Philo that time. They're going to go for it, looks like.
John Glenn's going to rush quickly here on 4th down and 4 from their own 48-yard line. And early movement. And the left tackle for John Glenn was fooled by his own quarterback. And now that'll move it 5 yards back. That'll be the 2nd penalty against JG tonight. And that should kill any hopes of going for it here on 4th down.
Generally, you don't go for it unless it's a late game situation in your own territory. And John Glenn indeed will punt.
And that means number 10, Nathan Walker, will drift back to his own 30-yard line. And Griffin Wells will be the return man, standing inside his 25 for Philo. 4.5 minutes to go now, third quarter, counting down 12-7 lead for the Electrics. And Walker with a very high end-over-end punt. It'll be fielded by Wells at the 20. Eludes one man. Ryder Rock had a chance at him. Now he zigzags back from the center of the field, heading left past the 30 up to the 33, 34-yard line. Griffin Wells turns in a nice return, trying to get the home crowd pumped up here on senior night. 14-yard punt return.
Yeah, really, and well done on both sides, because it was a great punt, and Wells was able to get by the first wave, but John Glenn stayed in their lanes, stayed home, so to speak, and they were able to gang tackle him as he tried to cut to the left side of the field. So nicely done by both teams.
4:15 to go, third quarter. Philo on top 12-7, back on the offensive. Talon Preston, sophomore QB at 5'11", leading this group. The front line of Luke Perkins, Mason Thompson, Hayden Adolph, one of the two juniors on that line, Slade Glob and Damon Myers. Now we see, looks like Luke Perkins is in there, 240-pounder on the right tackle. Flag comes in deep from behind, and that could be the first Electrics penalty of the contest tonight.
Yeah, when the referee throws that, it's usually on the offense.
And that came out early. It was like that one was really obvious off the snap of the ball.
67 on the offense.
And that was Luke Perkins, that aforementioned right tackle I just mentioned, at 240 pounds, a senior, guilty of that one. Unfortunate that his offensive linemen just don't get a whole lot of press time unless they're getting the yellow hanky
And
against
you know, in high schools, many high schools anyway, have gone to the officials being mic'd. Ooh, that did. Yeah, that's my kid out there. He's the one that was just holding it. It's not like there's 80,000 people in the stand, you know. And everybody knows.
And that'll be
Play clock? Nope, false start.
Yeah, delay. Nope, false start. So a pair of penalties now after no penalties through 24 minutes for the Electrics, and now 2 in a row.
Yeah, maybe refocus themselves here and try to maybe look for Searles on a pass, although they're deep in their own territory, first in a whole lot, like around 26 to be exact. So you may want to take a shot with Searles.
And we have some issue either with the play clock or game clock. We will see.
Talking to the Philo girls, I'm thinking it's something with the phones or the down and distance.
3-4-7. Oh, they're gonna. Okay, they're gonna reset the game clock somehow. I don't know if the game clock
3-4-7
got.
All right.
Yep, got behind or wasn't started properly. Something happened there. Cade Searles, the motion man, coming left to right, and he bobbles it, but gets it on the jet sweep, and now he's going to throw a pass. Griffin Wells wide open at the 45, and he is going to be gone. Touchdown for Philo. Halfback option pass on the jet sweep. Cade Searles found him, and boy, did they suck in the John Glenn defense and caught them napping on that play.
72 yards for Griffin Wells.
And there was no Muskie within 20 yards of Griffin Wells when he caught that football down the right sideline. He goes, and Philo turns in a trick play and picks the right time for that play.
Yeah, they may have to take a timeout to get themselves together here just to try the extra point. So I think Griffin Wells is on the try for 2-point team, and he's gassed. So he's trying to grab some air right now, and yeah, that's basically what it is. So
he's going to stay out there. 2-point conversion attempt with Philo leading it now 18-7. 3:27 to go third quarter. And an excellent throw from Cade Searles, who turns in a touchdown pass for Philo's Electrics. Lincecum on the handoff, and they'll give it on a reverse now. This will be Cade Searles, and he'll go unmolested into the end zone for the 2-point conversion play. And again, they'll go with a little trickery on the 2-point conversion attempt as well, and that scores for them. So Philo with an 8-point play to make it 20-7 over John Glenn here at Sam Hatfield Stadium in Duncan Falls. We'll take a 30-second timeout as our ABC Sports coverage of high school football between Philo and John Glenn continues after this word. Sam Hatfield Stadium. Howard Twiggs, Dave Davidson, and all of our audio and video crew, Brandon Hickman in the NASH Icon FM studio, along with Caleb Abram, McKenna Miller, Jessica Gross, and Cam Summers on our YRPtv webcast and on Facebook Live. 20-7 now, Philo with just under 3.5 to go in the third quarter. Momentum back to the home team.
What a great play call. What a great run. What a great pass. All credit to Philo on that one. Extra lunch for those guys this week in the cafeteria.
And now Austin Tysinger with the Valentine Insurance kickoff. And a squibber, and it'll be taken. Lane Hall will dive on it around the 28-yard line of John Glenn. And their offense will take over there, down by 2 scores for the first time in this game tonight.
Yeah, now decision time for the Muskies. We've pretty much seen that their passing game's a little stronger with Jake Johnson. They ran Noah Winland the first drive they had in the first half. They stalled, unfortunately, for them. So they need to come back now with 2 scores. So my guess is they'll come back with Winland. If they can't get it done here, unless there's an injury situation or something, they'll give Winland one more shot, and he's in the quarterback's hot now.
2 running backs, Gilcher to the left, now goes in motion outside left, and they'll toss it to the right side instead for Ryder Rock. And Ryder Rock is snowed under by the defensive line. Nose tackle Ashton Schultz makes that stop on Ryder Rock after a gain of about close to 3.
Well, so now second down and manageable, at least some positive yards for Rock that time.
Caleb Lyrick, number 81, is back in as tight end, H-back, blocking back.
Yeah, but, again, back to the split backs and the 2 wide receiver package for John Glenn.
Which is what they started the game here with first couple of series. Winland on the clap snap is bottled up behind the line of scrimmage and struggles forward to get back to the line, and that is it. And Philo was right on top of it again, Kyler Nader.
Yeah. Give credit to the Philo adjustment at halftime. I'm sure the coaches saw what we saw in the first half. It's a tale of 2 different styles for John Glenn, and when they have Winland on the field, it's probably going to be a run, especially by way of the formations. You know, it's the same formation again, just the 2 wide receivers. So Philo really, with the man coverage, can really have that extra guy to stop the run and rush the passer.
Nathan Walker, receiver right, Gates Thompson left. Some pressure provided, middle screen for Ryder Rock. Rock trying to escape out of a tackle, gets a WB Green Insurance first down, and a big hit applied by the opposing quarterback, Talon Preston, but not until JG picks up the necessary yardage. 8 yards, call it 9 for Ryder Rock, and a first down at the John Glenn 40-yard line. A much-needed first down here in this second half for JG.
Yeah, now to John Glenn's credit, they have ran that little middle screen, bubble screen, whatever you want to call it, something right off the line of scrimmage very effectively in this football game.
It's coming on a crossing route,
yeah.
So but yet it is still a kind of a screen type play. Here's Winland on the keeper, around the right side, picks up 3, up to the 43-yard line. And Philo, let's see who gets off the pile of humanity. Cade Searles was in there on it, along with Lincecum.
John Glenn, they've taken their time. I think that they're not hurrying. They're not trying to go out of character, which is to say that they are a running football team, and they like the ball in Winland's hands. So their problem is they're down 2 scores with the clock moving in the third quarter and the play clock down to about 7 seconds as we speak. And I think there's got to be somewhat of a little bit of.
Well, they are late getting started. Winland, boy, just does get it off in time. And Winland with a nice hole through the middle of the line. Gunnar Fox and Noah Scheffler provided a big hole for the quarterback Winland to pick up a gain of 8. Up to the short of the 49-yard line of John Glenn, 3rd and short.
Yeah, and they could be in 4-down territory. Depending on what they get out of here, you probably want to think you go back to your power back in Gilcher. But boy, most of the damage has been done by Noah Winland here in this third quarter.
Well, you can bet the ranch the ball is not going in the air on 3rd and a yard and a half.
Think so. No.
They moved the ball back to the 48. They need to get to the 50. This will be the last play of the third quarter.
Extra blocker and just one running back.
3 wide receivers. Heavy blitz inside by Philo, and Gilcher gets close to the first down mark. He was tripped up right at the line of scrimmage, but his fall forward takes him to the 49, and he'll be about a yard or slightly less short of the first down, and that'll take us to the end of the third. John Glenn's got an interesting 4th and 1 coming up at their own 49 when we come back on ABC Sports. Philo 20 and John Glenn 7. Now a scoreboard update brought to you by White Pillars Christmas House.
Electrics. Get back in the win column. Good for home season.
ABC Sports presents high school football. This game was brought to you by Doan Ford, patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, WB Green, West 40 Auto Sales, Southeastern Med, Abel's, Valentine Insurance, Wayne's Garage Door, Papa John's Pizza, Galaxy's Pizza, 209 Tire, and Guernsey County Children's Services.
All the crew, McKenna Miller, Caleb Abram, and Jessica Gross, and Brandon Hickman back in our NASH Icon FM studio. 4th and 1 call here, Howard.
Yeah, and now a 3 wide receiver look with just the single back for John Glenn. So I think that they're trying to cross Philo up.
Well, it seems like they've had more success advancing the ball with this 3 wide receiver set.
I agree. Because
maybe it seems that way, I don't know.
Yeah, but they've got the running quarterback in with Winland. So,
And the extra blocker, tight end, Larrick, 81 on the right side of the line. Gilcher's the tailback on 4th and 1 from their own 49. Handoff Gilcher. There's a hole, but they did not get it. Lincecum comes up with a big tackle, and the John Glenn Little Muskies are going to be stopped short.
Well, what they tried to do is spread Philo out with the 3 wide receiver look, the passing look, and unfortunately they just didn't get the push or the surge along the front, and I think Philo gambled a little bit, that totally disregarded the pass, just sent 8 guys into the box and stuffed the line of scrimmage. So give Philo coaches credit on that one.
And it looked like there was a little bit of a hole on that right side, and then just kind of submerging out of from underneath the pile. Lincecum came diving in right at below the knees of Gilcher, and just cut him down right now before he could even get any sort of, even if he could have fallen forward a little bit more, he would have probably had the first down.
Big momentum swing there.
Philo up 2 touchdowns now, 20-7. Started this 4th quarter, and now they take over on downs at the JG 49. Handoff Lincecum around the right side on the sweep. Lincecum's got some space. He's going to be near another WB Green Insurance first down, and he'll have it as he is knocked out of bounds by Kobe Shade over on that far side. And, well, actually, they're going to move him out of bounds around the 42. No. There was a penalty flag over there, my friend, right below, right outside the 0 in the 50-yard line that I did not see initially.
I don't see the flag. I mean, it's obviously a flag, but I don't even see it on the field.
They just picked it up above the 0.
Yeah, they threw it late, picked it up early.
And that's going to be a holding penalty. That's penalty number 3 against Philo here. And all coming in this second half so far. This has been, and they've all been offensive penalties as well. So these have been, it was a drive killer on the last time when they had a holding penalty, and now they're going to be moved back to make it a 1st and 19 again. And 11:49 they're asking for. They'll put 5 more seconds back on the game clock. Ball will rest at the right hash mark at the 41-yard line of Philo. First down 19 now after the second holding penalty of the night against the Philo offense. Griffin Wells, Case Fink in the slot to the right side. Searles out left. Preston looking to heave it deep down the sideline. He's got Searles. He's open. Caught it at the 30. Down the sideline, 20, 15, and pulled down from behind by Kobe Shade near the John Glenn 12.
The go route all the way down the field. That's good for 66 yards.
Oh, there's a big play. Preston on the money. Right, on the money.
How about Searles? 2 catches for 97 yards. Yeah, you like that.
That's a big one.
47 officially.
12-yard line. Clock running at 11:20. Searles with seems to be every Philo big play. He has his hands on it somewhere. Preston on the quarterback keeper ducks a couple of John Glenn tacklers and is finally submerged under by Cash Smith and Tanner Whiteman at the 9-yard line. A gain of 3 for the Philo QB, Talon Preston.
Yeah, Philo really surprised John Glenn tonight with the 2 deep balls. And boy, now they're just in great shape, especially with this quick-moving clock in the 4th quarter.
Second down 7, ball just inside the 10. And that John Glenn defense really has its back to the wall now as they are already down 20-7 in danger of this game getting away from them for good. Lincecum on the sweep to the right side. Cash Smith again with a nice pursuit from behind and runs down Lincecum and stops him for no gain as Cameron Barnhouse was out there occupying a couple of blockers as well. So good pursuit to that strong side by the JGD.
Yeah, but Philo really likes that right side of the field, that right side of the line. They get good push, but that time John Glenn did a very good job defensively of stuffing the run by Lincecum. Lincecum, 12 carries, 53 yards tonight.
Lincecum's going to come to the sideline and get a breather for one of the rare times in this game. Preston will be flanked by Max Zimmerman now. The senior number 1 is in there for the first time in the backfield that I recall. And 3 receivers, Griffin Wells coming in, Searles coming in motion, and he is the intended receiver, and Noah Winland up on the coverage. That ball, I think that tipped at the line of scrimmage, Howard? Or did it just come out of his hand?
Yeah, it just didn't go. I think it was miscommunication because the receiver didn't come back to the ball, and the quarterback threw it short.
So it'll be 4th down and 7, and Coach Dirk Lincecum is going to bring in his field goal team and try to put this score a little bit further out of reach with the clock stopped. 4th quarter, 9:51 to play. Philo already with a 20-7 lead. And Demetrius Strickland will be the holder for Philo. Griffin Wells will attempt this field goal, which will be unofficially about 26 yards. And Coach Dirk Lincecum and the Electrics want to talk this one over and get their field goal team set up right here.
Okay. So you send the guys out there and you're like, whoa, this is our chance. And then the coaches say, not so fast. Let's talk about this for a second. I think the kids want to do it, but the adults say, wait a minute here.
Well, is this a timeout you think that is like it's a rare field goal opportunity? Is it just a reminder, okay, everybody's got to block and do their job up front. Let's get a good snap. Let's not rush this and panic.
Especially when you look at their touchdowns, they haven't tried for the extra point, and all of a sudden now you're going to kick a field goal? What's wrong with this picture here? So I'm not sure Coach Lincecum's not having second thoughts, but I think he's going to send them out.
Well, the freshman Braden Payton has been there, was their place kicker when the season started and went down somewhere after about week 3 or 4. And to my knowledge, at least the time that I've seen it, this is the first attempt of any kind I have seen from Griffin Wells, and this will be a 26-yard field goal attempt out of the Demetrius Strickland hold. And the snap is good, the hold is good, and the kick is just a little short from Griffin Wells as he did not quite get enough oomph on it. It was online, just a short.
Well, I think that's one of those things that Griffin Wells is a senior. For 4 years, he's been bugging the coaches. He's like, come on, Coach, I can do it. I can kick a field goal. And I think on senior night, Coach Lincecum said, okay, stop bugging me. We're going to give you a shot. Leave me alone. I no more ever again do I have to hear from you wanting a field goal try. That's what I think happened. You got your try now. Let's go play defense here, Griffin.
Your story reminds me of a story from several years back. This is based on a true story, and I'm not going to use the names. It was a high school team in the area, and they were doing a kickoff. Kicker goes out, kick, and the coach looks out and looks, What's he doing out there? Where's our kicker? What? And he looks, and the kicker, his usual kicker, is standing right beside him. He says, what are you doing? Oh, my brother wanted to kick. He never kicked before. True story. Quick throw over the middle, Logan Gilcher, and caught around the 25 up to the 27, but this one is no doubt coming back against the maroon and white, and another hold on the JG offense with Jake Johnson back at the QB.
Well, now it's time for John Glenn. You figure the way this game has gone, it's holding against John Glenn. That's their third penalty for 25 yards. But the way this game has gone, Dave, with such few possessions, I don't think John Glenn has a choice now. They've got to go with Johnson, the better thrower, with just 9:41. They may only have 2 drives left in them.
Yeah, this clock has been running in turbo time most of the night. Tonight, a holding penalty will move it back inside the John Glenn 10 to the 9, and this will be first down 21.
Unfortunately, though, you're deep in your own territory.
Gates Thompson, Nathan Walker out to the far left side, and Kobe Shea to the left. Gilcher is the tailback behind sophomore QB Jake Johnson as he claps, gets the snap, good protection. Johnson throws deep. Talon Preston is there, picks it off as he overthrows Shade at the 32, down the sideline, zigzags inside the 20, down to the 15, and still finally knocked out of bounds near the 10-yard line of John Glenn. And that one could spell doom for the visitors.
Yeah, that one for the Muskies is... Yeah, they aired it out. I mean, they definitely went with it. But that was a great job by Preston. He had the single coverage out there, the single high safety, and the ball was a little bit overthrown. And he did a nice job of locating the football and coming up with really a very good interception.
So just like that, the Electrics, after missing a 26-yard field goal just a touch short, get the ball right back on the turnover. I guess officially that first turnover of the game by either team.
Exactly.
9:14 to play, fourth quarter. Philo up 20-7 and looking for more. Looking to slam the door on the night. And Drew Lincecum is going to hustle off the field quickly, and Philo's not going to get this one off. This will be a delay of game penalty as Philo had 12 men out on the field. Lincecum was out there and was the extra guy, or at least somebody else was the extra guy, and coach told Son to run off the field anyway.
I think what happened is somebody forgot to tell Lincecum, you're still not in the game. I mean, change of possession. He's thinking, okay, I'm back in the game, but Blake Linkus was the running back, so they'll have to sort that one out.
Well, they got it sorted out now. First down 15. Ball moved back to the 17.
With Linkus.
Linkus is the tailback on the left side of the QB, and they'll hand it off. Jet sweep. Cade Searles around the left end. Outruns Nathan Walker. Is pushed out of bounds around the 13-yard line of John Glenn. A gain of 4. Yeah, about a 4, maybe close to 5, but just short of the original line of scrimmage. Clock stopped at 9:07 on the run out of bounds, so Philo still with 4 down territory all the way here to give themselves to put this lead out of reach.
Yeah, they're not going to be trying another field goal.
Cade Searles, Griffin Wells, wide right with 2 backs now as Zach Savage is the fullback, and Savage will get his first carry of the night as he is submarined under near the line of scrimmage, maybe gets a half yard or so. We'll give him 1 generously up to the original line of scrimmage, 3rd and 10.
And that might be a time for Philo to work on something they haven't really done much of this year. They've got a comfortable lead, 20-7, clock moving at 8:40 to go in the fourth quarter. It's 2 downs. I guess what I'm thinking is that this might be a time for a pass to somebody.
Ball at the left hash at the 13, 3rd and 10.
Think Searles with one-on-one coverage on the far side of the field.
And now Philo is a man short this time as Case Fink lines up in the slot coming out of there. Preston heaves it up, one-on-one coverage, and a back shoulder throw to Cade Searles, and scores it again. Cade Searles with the 13-yard TD pass for Philo to make it 26-7.
Well, easy pitch and catch. You got one-on-one out there, buddy. That's nice job by Philo.
Cade Searles again is the man with the magic touch for Philo, as he is now responsible for all 3 Philo touchdowns, 3 of the 4 touchdowns here on the night.
Yeah, that just a fade into the end zone, and unfortunately for John Glenn, there was no over-the-top help for the corner out there.
And the Philo offensive crew will go for 2 to try to make this a 28-7 advantage. Talon Preston with an empty backfield now as they'll bunch 4 wide receivers to the wide left side, trying to set up a quick screen for Searles, and that had no hope at all as John Glenn had destroyed that one. Walker and Jake Johnson in coverage, knocking that one away. So the 2-point conversion fails for the 3rd time tonight for Philo, but the Electrics comfortably in front here on senior night at Sam Hatfield Stadium, 26-7 now with 8:19 to go in the game.
Yeah, it's so funny when you have a lead, you have such a luxury as a coaching staff, and able to make that play that time. Just the way you draw it up, just the right formation, and really a great ball by Preston. So Philo now really putting it to John Glenn at 26-7. So it just didn't seem very long ago, Dave, that John Glenn was right in this game. It was 20-7, and they had the ball in the 3rd quarter, and were putting together a drive, and then it just stopped, and it's been all Philo ever since.
Our kickoff here by Austin Tysinger is coming up, brought to you by Valentine Insurance on Southgate Parkway in Cambridge. Our thanks again to our sponsors for tonight's Week 9 football webcast and broadcast: Doan Ford, WB Green, West 40 Auto Sales, Abel's Incorporated, AMG Vanadium, TK Auto, White Pillars Christmas House, Dirt Works of Ohio, and Greg's Motorcycles. And that's a live ball, and John Glenn fails to foul on it, and Philo's going to recover it inside the 29-yard line. And boy, look out, there is some extracurricular activity going on at the end of that play as Ty Moorhead comes up with the recovery for Philo, and just a mental mistake by the JG kickoff team.
Yeah, loss of focus. Something that the coaches are going to have to grab the guys and say, hey, special teams, we've still got a football game here. Let's get it right.
So with 8:17 to play in this 4th quarter, Philo is about to drive the final nail in, leading 26-7. Another throw out to the far right side for Cade Searles, and Kobe Shade with a little cozier coverage on the star wide receiver with over 50 receptions on the season for Philo, and that one's incomplete.
Yeah, they wanted another one. By the way, Preston now 9 of 17, 198 yards through the air. I take that back. Searles was 1 of 1 for the 7-2 to Griffin Walsh, so not as high numbers for...
Preston's still over 100 yards passing, but collectively as a team nearing 200 yards passing.
Yeah, we'll get it worked out. 136 to be exact for
trips receivers for Philo, and that play is going to be blown dead, so illegal procedure again on the offensive line of Philo. So Philo's made some offensive penalty mistakes here in the second half, which hasn't really hampered a lot of their scoring, but it has made 2 or 3 of their second half drives a little more difficult.
Yeah, but you want to stay sharp the last 8-12 though. I mean, they're on their way to a victory, and again, possible playoff spot, but they've got a long way to go both this one and next week against Maysville. So, but they still want to stay sharp.
Philo now will send out 4 wide receivers on 2nd and 15 at the John Glenn 29. And the handoff goes to Cade Searles. Searles behind the line is going to be tripped up from behind, and Cameron Barnhouse came up with a tackle, but may have injured that right hand or something there. He was in pain for a moment, now bounces back up. And a loss on the play for Searles of about 4 yards.
Searles now 4 carries for 17 yards. So the big play, though, the pass, that keep in mind that play of the game at the end of this thing.
Yep, we've got, looks like a drive of the game and perhaps a play of the game sewn up fairly well as Philo now rushes out with 5 seconds on the play clock. Wells and Fink receivers to the near right side. They're going to go to Searles' side again. Jake Johnson had a chance at a pickoff at the 11-yard line, but it falls incomplete. Just out of Johnson's reach, the safety closing in on the would-be Electrics wideout.
Defended on the play by the Muskies, number 15, Jake Johnson.
So a 4th and 19 now coming up for Philo at the JG 33-yard line, and some of these incomplete passes now, this fourth quarter clock has kind of grinded to a halt.
Interesting, the quick change of possession for Philo, and they've had two big plays, the 2 pass plays for the 2 touchdowns, but they've ran the ball effectively. One would think they're going to take a timeout, but on the 4th and 19, one would think they'd try to run the clock down and work on the ground game, but you've got a luxury. You're 26-7.
So we'll take a 30-second timeout here on NASH Icon FM and on YRPtv as our ABC Sports coverage of Philo and John Glenn continues after this.
ABC Sports presents high school football. This game was brought to you by Doan Ford, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, WB Green, West 40 Auto Sales, Southeastern Med, Abel's, Valentine Insurance, Wayne's Garage Door, Papa John's Pizza, Galaxy's Pizza, 209 Tire, and Guernsey County Children's Services.
Drives and players of the game coming up. Philo now with a 4th and 19 from the John Glenn 33. They will go for it here. Searles the wide out to the right. Griffin Wills left. 2 running backs on either side of Preston. A little quick pooch kick here. And it'll bounce at the 7-yard line and goes into the end zone. So Preston still with plenty of leg. And 33-yard punt, but it'll come out to the 20 for John Glenn. With 7:21 to go in the ball game, down 26-7 are the Muskies.
Okay, so if you're John Glenn, you're down by 19, so you're not going to get it all back on one play. You've got a decision to make. Do we try to go big and really try to stretch the field quickly, or do we try to throw short, figuring that Philo's going to give us some room, and we may not win, but we can make it competitive by coming down and making a score?
Noah Winland back in at QB. Gilcher the tailback. Muskies down 19 as they have had only a couple of successful drives. Only one has led to points. That pass incomplete, looking for Kobe Shade out on the left side. That intermediate 15-yard range. 2nd down and 10 coming up. So let's think about our West 40 Auto Sales play of the game, because I think we've got a couple maybe to choose from, but you think about that a moment. We'll get to that after this play. I think I know which one you're going to choose. But
yeah, I got it written on the palm of my hand. Play of the game.
Etched in your brain. 2nd and 10, 3 wideouts, 4 wideouts now for Noah Winland. Sets up in the pocket, now steps up, scrambles, and he's going to be brought down for a short loss. Loss of a couple back to I guess a loss of 1 back to the 19-yard line as Philo now officially collects their first sack of the game to make it 3rd and long here with under 7 minutes to go. So our play of the game here, Howard, sponsored by West 40 Auto Sales. What do you got?
I like the Cade Searles 72-yard pass to Griffin Wells, which opened this thing up.
That was kind of an easy choice.
I tell you what, that just fooled everybody in this stadium. I don't think one player, coach, fan, official saw that one coming.
Everybody listening and watching, probably Danny Engle especially, was really fooled by that one as well. 6.5 to go, and Winland throwing a short pass as a flag comes in after the play. Gilcher, let's see, that pass was incomplete, a little too low, and that was really just kind of a throwaway play as there was just really not much open right there. What's this penalty flag? It's at the 15-yard line. I think it's against JG.
I'm just, I'm wondering a late hit maybe on the quarterback.
Or it's like maybe someone, like maybe a lineman, something.
Yep, they're going to go holding. Well, for John Glenn, give them credit for, trying to score by way of the pass here, but unfortunately they go 3 and out, and it's going to be 4th down, and they're going to have to punt the football.
punt time coming now for Nathan Walker and the Muskie crew with the clock approaching the halfway point of the fourth quarter. 26-7 Philo. Griffin Wells is back deep to receive it. Walker will step a couple to his right, and he sends this one skyscraper high, and it's bobbled by Griffin Wells, and it's going to be covered up by Ryder Rock as John Glenn recovers, and now Philo with its first turnover of the game as Ryder Rock comes sliding in at the Philo 42-yard line and makes the recovery on the muff punt return by Griffin Wells.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was a nice, high, booming punt. Griffin Wells took his eyes off of it, and now Philo's going to have to play a little bit of defense.
Walker really put some power into that, got some really good hang time, and there was still, even with the hang time, there was some time for Wells. Really, he wasn't under any real pressure to make the catch and not get hit right away, but John Glenn will take advantage of the turnover from the Philo 43 as Jake Johnson rolls to his left, throws over the middle, and that's caught. And I believe that is Walker again. Yes, it is. And that'll be good enough for a WB Green Insurance first down, a gain of 11 to JG's number one target, Nathan Walker.
Yeah, 4 catches, 47 yards for Walker. Numbers for Johnson that are good numbers. 6 of 7, 66 yards. He did have the one pick.
First down and 10, JG with 3 receivers. Johnson throwing a comeback little quick screen and right into the hands of Kobe Shade, who was looking upfield a half second too early and dropped it at the 32, which would have gained some yardage, but it falls incomplete instead. 5:35 to go, fourth quarter, and a 2nd and 10. Philo 26, John Glenn 7.
Yeah, by the way, also we have the driver of the game and the power lineman for both teams, Dave.
I know we've got one powered lineman already selected and probably one for each team here so far. And Jake Johnson under some pressure, escapes one tackle from Kyler Nader, and then defensive lineman Damon Myers, the defensive end, at 275-pound junior, number 70, finishes off Jake Johnson back at the 40-yard line and a loss of 7.
Yeah.
Second sack of the game for the Electrics D.
And, you know, Johnson might be like, Coach, you know, it's pretty obvious I'm passing here. I need a little bit more protection. And don't you think Philo doesn't know it on their blitz package?
Trips receivers to the left side and Caden Black to the right side. Johnson again rolling out to his left, throws up high. Nathan Walker makes the catch, and he takes a big pop by Preston Talon. Or Talon Preston, I should say, at the 28-yard line, but Walker again with those stick-em-like hands makes another tough grab in traffic and picks up about 12. We've seen Walker make several catches like that in traffic. He just doesn't care. He's not concerned about if he's going to get hit and how hard. He usually comes up with the grab.
Really good football player.
So a makeable fourth down at about 6 or so for John Glenn now, with 4:15, time the enemy of John Glenn now at the Philo 28 at the left hash. 4 wideouts for Jake Johnson. Rolling out to his right, throws on the run. That's caught. Gates Thompson makes the grab at the 23-yard line, and his forward momentum gets him a WB Green Insurance first down after a gain of 8 to the 20-yard line of Philo, and a glimmer of hope yet still for JG.
Yeah, you know, Johnson does throw a good ball. He's 8 of 10 for 84 yards, does have the pick. You know, I think at this point, John Glenn's just trying to salvage a little something here. And I think Philo maybe let up a little bit, but, you know, they've got pride on the line also, though.
A handful of second teamers out there for Philo's defense, a mixture of first and second guys out there. And Johnson out of the pistol on first down and 10 from the 20, throws over the middle, and that's a catch for Nathan Walker again, and he's got another WB Green first down after a gain of 11, and that ball will rest right at the 10-yard line, first and goal.
How about 6 catches for 68 yards for Walker?
Well, if we could select co-players of the game, we know who it would be, but our Block 9 pizza player of the game looks pretty obvious tonight.
Yeah.
3:15 and counting here in the fourth quarter. John Glenn desperately needing some scores to salvage some respectability here as Johnson rolls out to his left, throws. That ball may have been tipped by oncoming rusher Zach Savage, who was pressuring Johnson on that rollout as it falls well short, incomplete for Kobe Shade.
Now, for John Glenn, you're back in that same spot again. Desperation time. You've got some downs to work with. It's 2nd and 10. But, as you mentioned earlier, time is not on your side.
2nd down and 10 play. Troops receivers, Thompson, Walker, and Shade, the 3 starting receivers in that triangular pattern to the left side. And rolling that way and throwing that way is Nathan Walker as he makes a catch. And that's Gates Thompson, 13 with the grab. Short gain, picks up 3 to the 7-yard line. It's now 3rd and goal from the 7 with the clock running under 3 minutes.
Yeah, Philo will give him all that little underneath stuff. And I'll tell you what, Nader hasn't come up with a sack recently, but he has put tremendous pressure on Johnson and, for that matter, the other quarterback, Windland, that they've had tonight.
That ball over on the left hash mark now, you would look for a play probably going right here, you would think, for JG's offense. Let's see. Shade and Thompson are on that side. Walker to the short side left. Rolling right is Johnson. Throwing over the middle. Wide open man, and the catch for Kobe Shade with his first reception of the night. And it comes up with a 7-yard TD pass as John Glenn gets a score to get them to double figures and make it a 26-13 Philo advantage.
Yeah, John Glenn gets on the board, so congratulations, Muskie. Nice ball again that time by Jake Johnson.
2:16 to go in the game, and John Glenn gets a little bit closer now within 2 scores. They're obviously going to have to go for 2 here. Maybe get this down to an 11-point deficit perhaps. Jake Johnson will lead the offense again. And right now, John Glenn's 2-point team scrambling now. Ryder Rock comes in with Gilcher, 2 running backs on either side of Johnson out of the pistol. Johnson, little jump pass for Larrick, the tight end, and that's good for 2. A little Tim Tebow type play action from Jake Johnson as he faked the quarterback sneak and then a little dump pass over the middle, and Larrick has his 2nd reception of the night. One for a first down and that one for a 2-point play to make it 26-15 Philo now with, again, just 2:16 left in the ball game and an onside kick coming.
Yeah, so, for Philo, I don't think they're going to be happy about that drive, but for John Glenn, that's a lot of pride there on the line, and really the Muskies did a nice job of coming down. I'm impressed with this Johnson, not to take anything away from Woodland. We haven't really seen him air it out. We did see the one long ball that Preston intercepted, but he throws a nice short to medium pass, and I think as he continues to grow and develop, I think he's going to have a nice career at John Glenn. I like him.
And remember, this sophomore QB is only 5'9" right now and about $130 soaking wet, so this is not a real big kid yet.
Yeah, he's
still showing some of those athletic attributes.
Yeah, he'll grow in the program and physically and weight room, and I think down the road he's going to be a pretty good quarterback.
So Philo now obviously expecting onside kick here on this Valentine Insurance kickoff attempt from Evan Rector. John Glenn needs nothing short of a moderate miracle right now to get themselves back in this game. Trailing 26-15, just 2:16 to go in the game. Rector sitting up there on the left hash. And John Glenn here. That ball popped up high, and a great job. Oh, and that could be a little bit of a late hit right there, but John Glenn, fortunate for them, got away with it. Just trying to see, was that Case Fink? Talon Preston maybe come up with a recovery.
Yeah, one of the good hands people that time for Philo. So at this point of the game, it's just a matter for Philo just hang on to the football. Let's not we're not trying to score here. Let's just do our jobs.
So right now, Philo will just more or less have to run out the string. They'll have to get at least a first down here to run out the game. Then John Glenn still has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. We'll take a look here after this play at our Dirt Works of Ohio drive of the game. Again, I think this is a fairly easy call here from my partner Howard Twiggs.
We referenced it at halftime. We referenced
I like putting you on the spot.
That's okay. I like that. That's all right.
First down and 10 run for Zimmerman, I believe. The carry for a gain of 1 just ahead of the 50. And
John Glenn's going to take their timeout.
Yep.
So, okay.
They are not giving it up yet. So timeout for John Glenn there first. A gain of 1 for Max Zimmerman, the senior running back. So let's take a look here, Howard. Our Dirt Works of Ohio drive of the game. So here's the play that Howard Twiggs really digs.
You know, I talked about this at halftime. I think this probably put this game where it is now with a soon-to-be Philo victory. That's the last drive of the first half. Philo, John Glenn had just scored. Philo had gotten the kickoff to their 47-yard line with 1:12 to go in the half and drove down, and then with 3 seconds to go, the pass to Lincecum from Talon Preston sealed the deal. So that gave Philo, the lead right back at 12-7, and that to me just I think says it all. You go down 7-6 with 1:12 to go in the half, and you come down in that kind of time frame and score. That's good stuff.
I think that's a good selection. Our Dirt Works of Ohio drive of the game tonight for the Electrics. Talon Preston, quarterback, keeper, right side, picks up about 3, just short of the Muskie 46-yard line. And a whole pile of players emerge, and Connor Sensabaugh with that tackle for John Glenn. Another timeout, number 2 for John Glenn with 2:03 to play in quarter number 4. Philo 26, John Glenn 15. As this one has been kind of a tale of surging momentum from both teams. Philo dominated quarter number 1, really John Glenn for the most part up until, as Howard said, that last drive of the game in the last minute, 12 seconds. John Glenn had dominated a lot of the second quarter of action, and most of this second half has been reasserted by Philo's line of scrimmage and just a little bit more consistency. But obviously, the front line of Philo tonight here, Howard, has more often than not done its job.
Yeah, I think Philo's going to have to, not going to have to. I think they're going to be very pleased when they watch films of this that they did a lot of good things. John Glenn did a lot of adjustments that Philo had to counter on, and I think the Electrics coaching staff deserve a lot of credit.
3rd and 6 run for Cade Searles on the sweep to the short side right of the field. And he'll be cut down near the line of scrimmage. It looks like he'll get maybe a half yard, just short of the 45-yard line. Final timeout taken by the Muskies. So we'll take timeout as well for 30 seconds. 1:57 to go in this fourth quarter. Philo 26 and John Glenn 15, and we'll return in 30 seconds after this timeout.
ABC Sports presents high school football. This game was brought to you by Doan Ford, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, WB Green, West 40 Auto Sales, Southeastern Med, Abel's, Valentine Insurance, Wayne's Garage Door, Papa John's Pizza, Galaxy's Pizza, 209 Tire, and Guernsey County Children's Services.
Back to Sam Hatfield Stadium in a comfortable but yet chilly Duncan Falls. Davidson and Howard Twiggs, our crew, Brandon Hickman in our FM studio, McKenna Miller, Caleb Abram, Jessica Gross, and Cam Summers on our YRPtv controls. And right now, Philo with a 4th and 5 here, Howard at the 45-yard line, and last gasp effort here for the JG defense.
Yeah, after this punt, they're going to have salvage punt. They'll have no timeouts left.
And a wobbler sent to Nathan Walker at the 18-yard line. He's got some space, makes a cutback move, and he is finally pulled down from behind across midfield to the 48-yard line of Philo after a 34-yard punt return.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was over, but hold on.
I don't think John Glenn thinks so.
Nathan Walker comes up with the first punt return of the night for John Glenn, and it's a big one. And Walker, again, it seemed like, boy, every time we're calling a big play, it's number 10 on one side or number 10 on the other side, and that's Cade Searles and Nathan Walker.
Yeah, they both had outstanding games. So now you got Jake Johnson gonna air. Nope, yeah, you're gonna have Jake Johnson just trying to air it out.
Kobe Shade, Gates Thompson, wideouts to the left side. In the slot is Nathan Walker along with Caden Black, number 23, to the right side. 4 wideouts for Johnson as he rolls out to his right and throws into the flat. And Thompson looked up the field before he had the ball as he caught that one right in the breadbasket and dropped it at the 44. There was plenty of room there for him to at least get first down yardage right there. And again, that's the second time we've seen a Muskie receiver not named Nathan Walker who tried to run before making the catch. 2nd and 10 with the clock stopped at a minute 38 to go. 2nd and 10 from the Philo 48-yard line for John Glenn after a nice Nathan Walker 34-yard kickoff return. 4 wideouts again for Johnson. Good protection. 3-man rush. Now Kyler Nader flushes him out of the pocket, and they're going to bring Johnson down. He's sacked for a loss of 5 back at the 47 of JG. As really a coverage sack there for the Philo defense.
Yeah, you know, I just think Philo knows what's coming here. You know, they're not gonna give him any opportunities to roll out.
3rd sack by the Philo defense tonight. Clock running at a minute 10 to go in the ball game, and a 3rd and 15 now for JG as Johnson rolls out to his right, heaves one to Caden Black. That's caught at the 43-yard line on the comebacker, and Caden Black will be 2 yards short of the first down at the Philo 40-yard line after a 13-yard pass play, and Caden Black's first grab of the night. First time he's been targeted. Clock running at 50 seconds. No timeouts for John Glenn. 4 wides, 3 to the left side. Quick handoff, Logan Gilcher. He's got a first down, a WB Green first down at the Philo 36. Gain of 4 for Gilcher. On a rare second half run. He has not touched the ball much in the second half.
No, he has had, I think, just 5 carries in the second half.
And that is indicative of a team that has been trailing for much of the second half. All of it, in fact. And a quick spike on first down and 10 by Jake Johnson as he puts that one down to the turf. And the clock stopped with 34 seconds. 2nd and 10 now.
Yeah, you know, with no timeouts, 12 of 17 and 116 yards for Johnson tonight.
So John Glenn's not giving up the fight yet. They are battling all the way to the bitter end as Kobe Shade, Gates Thompson, and Nathan Walker all flanked out to the left side of the formation. Caden Black to the right. And Johnson again 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage out of the gun. Will scramble to his left, throws on the run, and makes the throw to Gates Thompson. A catch at the 28-yard line. Scampers up the far sideline for another WB Green first down at the 22 of Philo. Another nice game. Gain of 15 on that pass play to Gates Thompson. And another snap and a quick spike again from Jake Johnson to stop the clock with 20 seconds as John Glenn desperately wanting a 3rd touchdown score here perhaps to make this score look a whole lot better on everyone's high school football score streaming apps.
Give them credit. They're hanging in there trying to score this last 20 seconds.
Kobe Shade this time, number 17 by himself to the left side, 3 other receivers right. And whistles blow at the snap of the ball.
I think somebody took off a little too quickly.
Yeah, it looked like a early movement. We've seen several false starts here by both teams tonight. It was a mistake-free first half, and then really things are just kind of falling apart at times for both offenses tonight in the second half. 5-yard setback for the Muskies, now at 2nd and 15 from the Philo 26. Just 20 seconds left here in the contest. Lots more to come here in our Southeastern Med post-game report. Jake Johnson looking deep, and that's too high even for the defensive back, Cade Searles, who was in coverage on Caden Black for John Glenn.
Johnson pass intended for number 23, Caden Black.
Our thanks again, our ABC Sports sponsors for tonight, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, West 40 Auto Sales, Southeastern Med, AMG Vanadium, Dirt Works of Ohio, Greg's Motor Sales, White Pillars Christmas House, TK Auto, and Doan Ford. And a 3rd and 15 now for the Muskies with just 15 seconds left, down 26-15. And Johnson under some heavy pressure now, throws over the middle, and there's going to be a pass interference coming against Drew Lincecum, on intended receiver Ryder Rock at the Philo 17. Just at the last moment, Lincecum just took a little quick grab on Ryder Rock as that pass sailed over the middle. That was a great job by Jake Johnson. He had 3 electrics bearing down on him, and still only at 5'9", still had the presence of mind to get it over the defensive lineman, over the middle of the field, and still make a play and avoid a sack.
Well, that's going to set up the first down, I believe. I don't think they'll have time to run 4 plays.
Nope. A couple of plays left, maybe 2.
Yeah.
2 or 3 potentially, perhaps. We'll see. That will move the ball up to the not good enough for the first down, so they'll be about a yard and a half or so short of the first down from the 13 now. Johnson setting up, and he is snowed under quickly, and that will put the capper on the night as the Philo Electrics defense collect their 4th sack of the evening and come away with a 26-15 victory over John Glenn. So the Electrics now move to 4 wins and 5 losses on the season, and John Glenn will suffer its 6th defeat of the year to go to 3-6. A valiant effort by John Glenn here on the comeback effort, but Philo too strong in this second half here, Howard, as they just were a more consistent team in the second half.
Yeah, to Philo's credit, John Glenn had some stuff going, and then they were able to get some stops. And I think the opportunity for Philo to score when they did pretty much sealed this for the Electrics. And really a nice job by Philo and both teams. John Glenn really did hang in there.
So our final score here again from Sam Hatfield Stadium in Duncan Falls. Philo 26, John Glenn 15. Lots to come yet. We'll have our Lock 19 Pizza player of the game for the Philo Electrics. And we'll have our post-game report coming up. Howard's stats here, our final wrap-up. Our post-game report tonight sponsored by Southeastern Med in Cambridge, and all of that to come. Another look at our other scoreboard update sponsored by White Pillars Christmas House. That's coming during this break as well, as we'll look at other high school scores throughout the area. Lots to come in our post-game report here on ABC Sports and on NASH Icon FM. Stay with us. On AVC Sports here on YRPtv and on NASH Icon FM. 26-15 the final. Philo with a win over John Glenn. Philo goes now to 4 wins and 5 losses. 3-6 now John Glenn. We'll look at Howard's stats here in just a moment. Right now we'll take a look at our Lock 9 Pizza player of the game. Lock 9 Pizza will give a free small one-item pizza to the winner. Try their Wangus burgers and unlimited fries with 100% juicy Wagyu Angus blend. It's the burger people come back for here in Duncan Falls, and I can attest as well, it is totally awesome. Lock 9 Pizza here in Duncan Falls, and our Electrics player of the game, Howard.
Well, I tell you what, this guy for me, I think was a star. A lot of good stars, a lot of good candidates, but the guy for me is Talon Preston. He was outstanding on both sides of the ball. At the quarterback spot, did very well, commanding the ship. Nice job. Also defensively, had some big hits. He also had the nice pick on the over the shoulder. So our stop 9 guy is Talon Preston. So
I like it.
Congratulations to him.
Okay, and let's take a look at some of the stats here. First for John Glenn in the final category here.
Well, for the Muskies, they ran the ball 31 times for 75 yards, but you have to figure the sacks in that on Johnson. But 31 times for 75 yards. Passing, they combined with Johnson and Winland. They were 13 of 23 for 132 yards, and the one pick that was put off by Preston. One turnover, that was the interception. They punted the ball 4 times for 113 yards. And had 4 penalties for 30 yards for the Muskies. On the ground for John Glenn individually, Lincoln Gilcher, 12 carries, 46 yards, 12 carries for 35 yards for Noah Winland. Ryder Rock, 3 carries for 9 yards, and Jake Johnson would officially end up with minus 15 yards due to the sacks by the Philo Electrics. Through the air, 2 of 7 for Noah Winland for John Glenn for 27 yards. And then Jake Johnson, 11 of 16 for 105 yards for the Muskies. Individually, Nathan Walker, big night, 6 carries for 68, or 6 receptions, for 68 yards. Gates Thompson, 3 catches for 25. Ryder Rock, 2 catches for 16. Logan Gilcher caught a ball for 1. Caden Black caught a ball for 11. Caleb Blair caught a ball for 19. Colby Shade caught a ball for 7. So that will do it for the Muskies individually and as a team.
So the Muskies with a little something to build on. They're going to go back home against the Tri-Valley Scotties next week. Obviously a tough matchup there. Philo's now got some second half momentum to build on here as they will travel to Maysville. They were 4-4 coming into tonight's game. We'll see what Philo does. They were sitting 18th in the Region 15, Division 4, with a chance to still sneak into that top 16.
Well, they beat a team in John Glenn who's a division higher, John Glenn being Division 3, so that's a little bit of points, but they need some secondary points. They need John Glenn to somehow win next week, does Philo, but that's going to be a tough task.
Yep, our post-game report sponsored by Southeastern Med in Cambridge. And before we head out, too, I wanted to give a shout-out, too, to there was 4 inductees to the ZDGA Golf Association Hall of Fame. One of those being Chad Aricchio, golf coach at John Glenn now for, I think, 22 seasons. Just kind of looking off of here, he had a 441 and 81 record in MVL play. He's got 11 MVL championships, 5 state tournament appearances, including a 4th place finish back in 2014 and a 7th place just 5 years ago in 2017. Inducted into the ZDGA Hall of Fame. Chad Aricchio, congratulations to you, Muskie grad, and has done a super job with that golf program. It just seems like they got bumped into Division 1 this year, which was a little bit of a disadvantage for them. They placed 7th in the district this year, bumping from Division 2 to 1 in the golf program. But Chad Aricchio, congrats to you for being inducted into the ZDGA Hall of Fame, a well-deserved honor.
Absolutely, very good. I know Chad, a very good person, good coach, good guy.
Absolutely. Our thanks to Brandon Hickman and our NASH Icon FM studio, and the video crew here of Cam Summers and McKenna Miller, Caleb Abram, and Jessica Gross. Super job here, gang. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching on YRPtv. Howard Twiggs and Dave Davidson saying good night from Sam Hatfield Stadium, where the final score again, Philo 26 and John Glenn 15. Have a good night.
Thank you for watching AVC Sports. This game is brought to you by Doan Ford, Patrons Buckeye Mutual Insurance, WB Green, West 40 Auto Sales, Southeastern Med, Abels, Valentine Insurance, AMG Vanadium, TK Auto, White Pillars Christmas House, Dirtworks, and Greg Motor Sales.